Hey yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the weekly comic wrap up, episode 95. We're almost there, guys, almost at 100. But happy Father's Day to all the fathers, those that show up every single day through the good, through the bad, the hard, the fun times. You're always there. So, shout out to you guys, shout out to your dads, everybody's dads, and whether they're with us, wherever they're at on the other side. Happy Father's Day, man. I'm sorry I'm running a bit late, but yes, Father's Day festivities were ongoing. And then I had Hyper backstage who, we like to chat. We like to chat a bit too much, but it's okay. Dude, he's the reason I'm here. If anybody has a problem with me being on YouTube, we always blame Hyper. Just remember that, okay? Don't come at me. Go to Hyper. But yes, lots to discuss tonight, guys. There's some very interesting sales. We're gonna run through the FOC selections by Lefteros as well, and some very interesting hot topics on deck for tonight. But before we get into it, I do want to remind everybody that tomorrow night, Comic Legion goes live for their new Comic Book Day claim sale. So if you didn't get any books on FOC or anything at all, you may have missed out. Guys, tomorrow night, June 16th, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, over on their YouTube channel. Again, that's Comic Legion. They bring you guys all the fire. It's hosted by Lefteros. You've got Chia Pet there as well. So it's always a good time. Great books, great deals as well. So definitely don't miss out on that. Again, Comic Legion's YouTube channel. So don't miss it, please. All right. It's time we get into the show. The guy has been hanging out backstage, and I do want to apologize to everybody in advance because, yes, if I sound stuffy, my allergies are kicking my ass, like, significantly. And yeah, it was brutal. It was a brutal day, but we'll make it. But anyways, guys, he's backstage, he's waiting, and he is Hyper Combo Comics. Look who's back. What's up?
What's up, man? Listen, you say blame Hyper. I'll say give credit to Hyper because, dude, you've been killing it. Honestly, 95 plus episodes.
Stop. Now you're gonna make me blush.
Yeah,
But
you're gonna turn my shade eventually.
yeah, man. Hey, see, there's Steve, man. Happy Father's Day to you, Steve. Happy Father's Day to everybody. But yeah, no, dude. Speaking of that, dude, I spent the weekend in the pool. Holy cow, man! My shoulders are burning. I'm on fire, dude. I'm on fire.
Ah, didn't
Yep.
put enough sunscreen.
No, I don't put sunscreen. I don't. I
Okay,
don't.
living on the edge.
Living on the edge, exactly. But that actually reminds me, guys. I am gonna put it out there. There's going to be a show in July that I unfortunately am going to have to cancel, and that's gonna be the one for July 6th. So I'm just putting that out there, guys. I'm gonna be on vacation, St. Martin, with the family. So that's just I'm putting it out there now. But yes, I was out all weekend. Did you do anything this weekend? Dude. First, we need to talk about the fact that your hunting game has hit all new levels, because you've gone even outside of comics completely.
Yeah,
Completely.
yeah. Hold on, wait. Give me 1 second.
Yeah,
Oh,
go for it. I already know what he's gonna pick up, guys, because like I said, he's gone completely off the rails, away from comics, and has been picking up other things. And somehow, some of these things he picks up manages to tie back to comics. So yeah, Hyper, show us. All right, what do we have? Come on.
I mean, let's talk about the book of the hour. You guys remember this?
There you go. See, I knew this was coming up.
This, I mean, honestly, I think this is what, correct me if I'm wrong, it's like what, 50, 60 bucks at this point?
Yeah, it's somewhere there. Now it's funny because you and I have completely different stories when it comes to this book. So tell me how you got yours.
So literally, it was a stroke of luck because I went to my GameStop and I went there enough times that they recognized me. So I just casually asked him, and it was a dude at the time. I think it was like a few hours before closing. The dude clearly he just wanted to clock out. So I asked him, "Hey, do you have like the Marvel promo comics?" He's like, "Yeah, I think I should have them somewhere." I'm like, "Okay, so how do I qualify?" I don't remember. Just buy any Marvel product. That's literally what he said. Just buy any Marvel product. Because if you remember, the actual rule is you got to buy 2 Marvel Legends figures, and I think the Legends figures goes for about $30+ each.
Yep.
So the thing is, listen, I don't want to be a complete dishonest person. So I'm like, I kind of was trying to. I actually tried to help him. I'm like, I think you need to buy 2 figures, and he said, I really don't care. Okay. I'm like, all right, listen. I gave him an out. because I didn't want him to get in trouble with his manager, so I gave him an out. He didn't care. So literally, the only thing I bought to qualify was one of these. What do you call it? Zooms?
I have no idea what that
It
is.
was like
Some.
it was like eight. It was like $8, and I just bought this, and I got the comic.
So that's what I mean. You and I had completely different stories because I actually just went today. My wife, we had to take a quick run to Walmart, and right next to it was a GameStop, EB Games now.
EB
And
Games, yes, yeah.
yeah, exactly. And I'm like, yeah, do you mind if I just run in? I just have to go ask them something. So I run in. I'm like, hey, do you have any more of the X-Men comic that you guys are
Yeah.
giving out? And girl literally holds it up in my face, like she's holding it, maneuvering that thing the way she should have not been maneuvering that thing. Opens it up and she's like, yeah. She's like, I have him, and she's like, if you want one, she's like, you just have to buy 2 Legends action figures. I'm like,
So she
really?
knew the rules.
And she even points it out in the book, and I'm like, why do you have to be a good employee, man? I just walked away, dude. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Why you gotta do that?
Yeah, honestly, it was luck because today I went to another GameStop just because I was in the area, and I asked them the same question, and that employee actually knew the rule. I think it was actually the manager who was actually working, so obviously he knew what was up.
Yeah,
So honestly, in my case, it was just right place, right time. I don't think everyone had that because I think most employees would have knew that you had to buy 2 of those Marvel Legends
I got
figures.
wrecked, dude. I got wrecked. The employee did not cave one bit, did not offer me anything close to what you got as an offer as buying just any Marvel product. No, that's not what happened. So
Yeah, and I don't even think they're aware of the value on the secondary market. For them, it's just like a stack of books that they just have to basically give away. That's
yeah,
yeah,
exactly. But anyways, that's my story for that. I'm happy you got yourself a copy. As you said, they're going for like $60 right now on the Bay.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean it's gotten a lot of love. I've seen it pop up on some top 10 lists. So yeah, who knows what we'll see on Tuesday over on Covrprice. But speaking Covrprice, Lefteros, we are gonna get into the FOC picks of the week to kick off the show. Guys, if you're wondering why Hyper's looking a little thin lately, it's because he skips lunch and he just goes and buy comics. Like he's been hitting all kinds of deals on lunch. Um, that's what's up.
Well played, well played.
Well played. That's exactly it. But he doesn't entirely do some of the new books, but he is finding gold out there. So shout out to Hyper. But let's kick off the FOC list this week. And yeah, man, you ready, dude?
With FOC, not really, but I'm gonna give it a try.
You got it. Let's go. All right, guys, it's the FOC selections of the week by Lefteros. If you're not already following Lefteros, please do so. Go check him out over on Instagram. It's at Lefteros. Very simple. But if you want to order any of these books we're going to show you guys tonight, definitely go check out Comic Nation if you live in the United States. Again, it's comicnation.us. You get 15% off of the cover price every single week, but you can get yourself an additional 5% off by using discount code BLACKCROWN. And if you're in Canada, guys, well, we've got Comic Legion. So they're giving you 20% off every single week. And you can get an additional 5% off of your first order by using discount code ENLIST. So to kick off the list hype, we've got Deadpool, Wolverine, issue 7. Here's the main cover, and we're getting a first appearance of somebody named Legacy, who is a mutant, by the way. Now, Lefteros did mention that he did read the book, which is pretty good. And yeah, man, pretty interesting to see his take here. He says that I think that is him on the cover of the next issue. So you might want to look at issue 8 to see what this character looks like. Again, not entirely certain, but that's just a possibility because yeah, I saw the issue 8 as well, and I don't know that person, so it could be. It could be.
Yeah, I mean, well, the thing is, with the cover, my first impression, honestly, when I first saw it, I thought it was a Liefeld cover. I don't know, it had a bit of Liefeld-esque to it, but then I realized it's Joshua Cassera, who
Yeah.
has, I guess, a similar style. But yeah, I mean, look, this is still going off the heels of the popularity of the Deadpool movie, right? So, I mean, this is an ongoing. It's not a miniseries, right? From what I understand.
Yeah, no, it's an ongoing, and as you said,
Okay.
man, the off the heels of the movie, definitely a lot of people still loving that. Dude, my kid keeps asking me daily to play it for him over on Disney Plus, and yeah. There's no way
I was
that
gonna ask, like, you let your kid watch Deadpool
no,
movie?
absolutely not. No, not at the age
Okay.
of 5 or 3. Because yeah, the amount of swearing,
Yeah,
just that alone.
that among other things.
Yeah, he's gonna walk into school tomorrow, and a lot of people are gonna be asking questions. But anyways,
Yeah.
Deadpool Wolverine issue 7, guys, is on FOC. Up next, we've got the book that a lot of people started freaking out over with issue 1, but Marvel Knights: The World to Come issue 2 here gives us the main cover. Now, I know you guys are gonna read that, say possible Ketema, but we did see how to pronounce it, Ketoma. Um, but yeah, we're gonna see some possible revelations regarding that, and as you can see, well, the child was touching the baby bump on this cover, so we might get to know a little more background as to what took place and how we got to get Ketoma within comics.
Yeah, and I mean, again, like I know I'm a bit off on New Comic Book Day, but even I guess was aware about the whirlwind that issue 1 caused, because it is, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, the only thing that's really I'm the story I'm sure was great, but I'm guessing the thing that really caught on fire was the first appearance of his new son.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
And again, I know a lot of people freaking out. It did work, guys. This did end up on big major headlines. This was in the mainstream media all across, and everybody was talking about this. Now, I do definitely have faith in Christopher Priest to give us an amazing story. I found the first issue amazing. I loved it. I keep saying how Marvel gave us 3 bangers in 1 week with this Imperial and the Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion. I'm all in on this. I'm definitely going to continue to read this. Like the hype is definitely there, and I'm very curious to see what we're going to learn about this character, how it came to be, and all of that fun stuff. So
Yeah, and the thing is, I mean, if you're gonna have someone writing a Black Panther story, you might as well, like, you can't go wrong with Christopher Priest, who did do the what is it, the Marvel Knights Black Panther back in the late '90s, I think, early 2000s. So he's well aware of the Black Panther source material. So if anything, I mean, he's at least true to the character. So
yeah,
you know,
exactly.
it's
But
it's not
anyway.
some like a new writer that's never taken on the character before.
Yep, I've said this, man. Priest has worked on Black Panther, so I have no problems with this. I think this is we're in for a good ride. So I'm picking this up. This is a good pickup. Up next, we have New Champions issue 7. This is the main cover, first appearance of Night Drifter. Now, I don't know too much about the character, but I will say that Lefteros does mention that this time it is Night Drifter, whom we saw for the first time on Matthias Manhanini's New Champions variant cover for Blade 4. So I don't know if you guys remember that cover, but you might want to check that one out. And the New Champions, man, that we've seen in time on multiple covers are slowly making their way into this. And the New Champions run is giving us a lot of those introductions. So definitely worthy to keep an eye out for, especially when it comes to New Champions. If you like any of these characters, it's a good time to pick them up while it doesn't cost more than cover price. So
Yeah, I mean, to your point, exactly. These are the characters that you kind of get on the ground floor. So will they pan out? Who's to say? But I mean, it's one of those situations where you read it, and if you think if you're having faith in the character, why not just get a cover price rather than getting into that FOMO situation?
yep, exactly. So I like this pick. Up next, we've got Robin and Batman Jason Todd issue 2. Here's the cover A, first full appearance and cover of Wraith. Now, dude, when I read that, immediately, you know where my mind went. It went over to Marvel, right?
Annihilation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm curious to see what this character is going to be about, but I, I feel like the Marvel side of that was treated so poorly, so poorly.
I mean, look, I know that it's Wraith is a word. It's not exactly copyrighted. I'm just kind of surprised that they DC went with that name, considering, like you said, there is a character that did exist in Marvel during the Annihilation storyline called Wraith. So, a bit surprising that they kind of went with that name. So
Yeah, he took a very fast exit as well during the
yeah,
King
that I
of
mean that
Titans.
is true. I mean, like, yeah.
I
N-
remember everybody speculating on his return, right, within comics, like, yeah, he's back,
That
he's
that
gonna be
that first
fast.
appearance tanked.
Yeah,
I remember when it was peaking, and then Null made sure that the secondary market didn't didn't recover from that.
yeah. exactly. But I will say though, regarding this, you got Jeff Lemire on this, which is always a great time. Love Lemire, but I think that Dustin Nguyen did an amazing job on this cover. The cover is really nice, dude. I think I love it.
Yeah, because I've seen Nguyen do other DC. I think even Batman and Robin in previous covers. I think it was like the little, what is it called, little Gotham verse or something. One of those all ages issues. So he's done DC work before, and I do like that watercolor based kind of um, illustration he does.
Yeah, very nice cover. So I like this one. Up next, though, very interesting on this one. We have the War #1, cover A, new series exploring the modern fear of nuclear war and societal collapse. Now, I don't want to say this kind of feels like touchy at the moment with a lot of things going on in the world. Like if you look around the last week, things have been a bit crazy.
Yeah,
But the story itself sounds pretty interesting. Definitely worthy, in my opinion, of a pickup. I am gonna pick up issue 1 to give it a read, give it a try. But dude, one thing I love. Look at this 1 in 10 incentive, dude. This is hilarious, man. Hilarious. The selfie game.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny because, well, funny and sad at the same time, because I feel like if anything were to happen in the real world right now, this is probably the type of stuff that would happen, dude. People would be on their way out like, ciao, it was nice knowing you. You know what I mean? Like,
Your last images of you taking a. It's kind of funny how everything else is blown up except for some reason the phone is still intact.
yep.
I don't know. I don't know what technology that is. I mean,
Yeah, but
it's
it's a very creative cover, dude. It's sick. I like
yeah,
it.
and look, the fact that Garth Ennis is writing this book, that in and of itself should be a selling point, because he, especially when it comes to these kind of mature take on like real world situations and all that, like
Yeah.
what was it, like Crossed, and that was a very disturbing story by Garth Ennis. So at least from a storyline perspective, it should be intriguing.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Cliff who's here in the chat. David Lepage, dude, I agree with you at 100%. I hate how much I like this cover because it just, I don't know. It just does it for me. It does it for me. It kind of feels like this is the type of stuff that would happen.
And the thing is, I mean, this looks very much like a photo variant, because just based on the
Yeah.
cloud of the mushroom cloud behind it, it looks. I don't think. Yeah, it looks very much like a black and white photo variant. It doesn't look like something that was actually drawn or generated.
Yeah. Very interesting. You got Rattlesnake Comics in the chat. So shout out to Rattlesnake, guys. If you're not already, definitely go check out Rattlesnake Comics over on Instagram, saying War, it's basically a reprint. It's in Hello Darkness 1 and 3. So very
Ah,
interesting. Yeah, thank you for sharing that
okay, interesting.
with us. But I love this, man. I love this cover. Very neat. It's really, really, really cool. So I love it. Up next we have Unchosen #1. This is the cover A, new miniseries about a post-apocalyptic battle for survival. Story and art is actually by David Marquez. I like this. Sounds cool. The cover is nice. The 1 in 50, guys, by Peach Momoko. Pretty neat. I'm not the biggest Momoko fan. I say this every time Momoko stuff comes up. There's another Momoko cover we're going to talk about later on the FOC, but man, Momoko killed it on that one that we're going to talk about as well. But yeah, this seems pretty interesting as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know too much of the premise on it, but I'm digging the Momoko cover. Lately, I kind of find that, at least with the ones that you've been showing on your show, I'm seeing a lot more hits than misses with Momoko. I know, people like to rag on her, but I think she's hit a stride, and for the most part, I do like the stuff that she's putting out as of late.
Yeah. Momoko, I've said it in the past, man. It's, hit or miss, mostly misses for me, but I do agree with you. A lot of them have been hits as of late. This Unchosen #1 is going to kick off a mini series as well. So just to let you guys know, this is not going to be a full ongoing, but it's a mini series. So yeah, I'm going to check this one out. Looks really cool. Up next, we've got a cover grab, which is Aquaman issue #7. This one being the cover E, and it's the trading card style cover depiction by Mark Spears. And man, Mark Spears did a great job on this one. I really like this one.
Yeah, it's different from the usual purple and blue covers.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, absolutely.
no, I'm digging this one. I definitely like that whole metallic sheen on Aquaman's, armor, or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, it. I mean, we've seen these trading card variants before, like from Joe Jusko,
Yeah,
for Marvel. So it's kind of cool that DC is kind of embracing that route as well with their covers.
Absolutely, man. I think it's great. Mark Spears did a great job on this. I say it every time. I think he does better originals than he does the homage covers. Some homages are great, though. I will give him that. But Aquaman 7, I think this is worthy of a cover pickup this week. Speaking cover selections, bro, check this: Batman Gotham by Gaslight, A League for Justice #1. Cover here by Bill Sienkiewicz. Dude, amazing cover. This is worth the price of admission. I'm picking this up solely for the cover, and I hope to be blown away by the read.
Yeah, you would think that actually this would actually have been an incentive cover. I mean, because generally Sienkiewicz covers generally tend to be ratios
Yeah.
lately these days. But the fact that you could get this at cover price, unless I don't know if I'm wondering if there's like a not a trade variant, but like a minimal dress variant of this. Who knows?
Ah,
But no, it's definitely a cool cover grab. I'm the title is what kind of takes me aback. It's a bit. I mean, you would think it would be a bit more concise. It took you. It's like half your slide is the cover. I mean, the
yeah.
title.
Yeah, yeah, you're not wrong, man. It's a long title, but a wonderful cover, man. I
Yeah.
think this is absolutely amazing. This is worthy of a pickup solely based on the cover. And like I said, I hope to be blown away by the read. But up next, guys, I think Lefteros may have been slightly biased with this one, but cover selection. Doomed 2099, issue #1. This is the Castellini variant. And of course, doing some great work here with, I was going to say Lefteros, but no, Dr. Doom.
I thought it was Claudio Castagnoli, the guy from AEW. I didn't really. I was like, wait, he's doing Marvel covers now.
Oh yeah, you're talking about Cesaro,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, but yeah,
yeah.
no,
No, listen, you and I both know Doom has a rabid fan base, so this is gonna definitely it's gonna be a must grab, obviously for the Doom heads out there.
yeah,
And yeah, this cover definitely. I like the way that the cape is actually kind of draping on the staircases and all that. Yeah, just some of those subtle details.
yeah. It's a very nice cover, 100%. But you said fan base, Doctor Doom having a fan base. You know what else has a fan base? Marvel Rivals, because these covers are still ongoing, guys. Doomed 2099, the #1, gives us the NetEase Games variant with Doom on it. I love the costume, man. I love this costume.
Yeah, I mean, again, like I was picking up those early Rivals variants, mainly because I actually played the game. So that's the reason that these kind of variants spoke to me. So this is probably what I will actually grab, just because I've already have been grabbing the other ones. Like I know that the bloom kind of got off the rose because now everyone's aware of it. But I mean, in terms of just having it in your PC, it's still a cool cover to grab.
Yep, I agree, man. Very nice. But speaking nice covers, guys, this alone as well is just so good. I find this so well executed. This is the Retrovision variant for Eddie Brock Carnage issue #6. This cover is done by Jim Rugg. My God, man, love everything about this cover. Like literally everything. Even Muse is on this cover. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's actually a nice little touch, and I like the fact that this is an open order cover. Usually these EC homages, I think they've been 1 in 25s for
Yeah,
those for that Blood Hunt storyline, right? So this one is pretty cool that at least it's open order, so you don't have to, shops don't have to order like
yeah,
a ton
exactly.
to
Like
qualify.
spot on, dude. They've mostly been ratios. So to see Marvel coming out with this available at just a regular cover price, hell yeah. Totally picking this one up. I love it. But another cover for Eddie Brock Carnage issue 6 is the Ryan Brown cover. Dude, I find Ryan Brown does anything symbiote related amazing. He does a great job on all of this stuff.
Yeah, and you know what? When I saw this cover, I immediately thought this would actually have gone well with that 1 in 25 Mayhew that I forgot the issue, but you know the one that kind
Yes,
of took off.
yes, yes.
Like this, and the fact again, going back to my previous point, the fact that this is open order and not a ratio, it's always baffling to me how sometimes I question the ratio covers if they're truly worth being ratio covers, and then some of these open orders are more worthy of being ratio covers.
Yeah. No, I get that, man. Sometimes I look at some of those ratios and I agree with you. Like, dude, there's been a lot of Spider-Man covers, amazing Spider-Man covers that end up being 1 in 25s. I'm like, that could have been a regular cover. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
it's funny.
So
ASM is actually one of the series I was actually thinking of when it comes to questionable ratio covers.
Yeah, I think it's definitely up there, but this is amazing. I love this. Ryan Brown, anytime he does symbiote stuff, dude, I'm all for it. I love it. So, yes, definitely worthy of a cover grab for this week. And speaking cover grabs, dude, oh my God, man. Stephen Platt never fails, dude. He never fails, in my opinion. Moon Knight, Fist of Khonshu, issue number 10, the Stephen Platt cover. Wow, this is sick. I love this.
Yeah, the thing is with Stephen Platt, I mean, I've yet to, and again, I could be wrong, but I've yet to see a Stephen Platt cover that I did not like. I find that he tends to bat almost like, at least in my opinion, almost like 100 when it comes to his covers that he puts out.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, and he killed it. I don't think this is the first time he's done Moon. No, actually, well, Moon Knight was one of the things that put him on the map. Actually, if
Yeah, he's done. Yeah, he's done.
like,
Dude,
what was the
Platt's
one
done
called?
it.
The I can't remember the series from the 90s, but the ones that where he did a series of those covers back to back to back. But the fact that he's doing Moon Knight again, I mean, that's his bread and butter.
Yeah, exactly, man. And Lefthero was saying that he read this already. If you love this run, you'll love this read too. So that's amazing to hear. But yeah, I think Platt did an amazing job. This is a stunning cover. Speaking stunning covers, I know everybody's loving some of the Supergirl covers that are coming out. I feel like every issue, man, they have a ton of great covers available. And I mean, they know how to cater to us boys when it comes to the Supergirl stuff. So you've got Supergirl issue number 3. Cover B to the left hand side is the Art Germ one, and then to the right you got Lyrics Lee, dude. Lyrics Lee, man, is like absolutely amazing, dude. Like anytime I see a cover in person, it I find sometimes the ones in person look even better than they do digitally, and I feel like this might be one of those cases. Like, dude, I just I went to Ottawa
Mhm.
about like a week or two ago, and I picked up one of his incentives. I forget which book it was, but man, the cover is just gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. I love Lyrics Lee's work and Art Germ too, dude. Don't get me wrong, I love Art Germ too. So two great covers here.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so this is probably my first, not pushback, I guess my first take of the evening. Both covers are great, but for me, when it comes to Archer, I have a lot of his covers, but it almost feels like I'm at a point where if you've seen, especially with Supergirl, because he's done like he did a series of these, I think during the Rebirth era. It
Yeah,
just feels like with some of these characters like Supergirl and Power Girl, like if you've seen one of his art term covers, it's almost like you've seen them all at that point.
yeah.
That's my only slight knock on the art. It just because I've just gotten so used to the, especially like some of the heroines of DC that
I
he's
don't
done.
disagree with you. I don't disagree with you. Does it feel kind of redundant? Probably. So I can see where you're coming from, but I still think both of these covers are very nice. For
Mhm.
myself, I'm going with the Lyrics Lee, but there is also a 1 in 25 incentive that's available by Joel Jones. This is a very beautiful cover as well. I think this is nice. But does this fall into the category of what we were saying earlier about the 1 in 25s kind of not looking 1 in 25 ish?
No, you know what? I actually dig this one, and I'll tell you why. This feels very much like an homage without being a straight up homage, because this actually reminds me of that famous Adam Hughes Legion of Superheroes Supergirl cover, right?
It does have the vibe. I get it.
Even though it's not a straight up like almost like copy, but it just the whole thing about the meteors in the back and her pose and the cape flowing in the back with the with the moon or sorry the sun beaming, it just feels like she's paying tribute to that Adam Hughes classic cover.
Yeah, I think yeah, exactly. There you go. The concept of this cover is going to bring back
Yeah,
memories for you. But yeah, I love it. It's a very nice cover. I I just wishfully hope that this was not a ratio because yeah, I'd like to
you
like
know what, I think this is one of those covers that probably will look better in person only because of that contrast of the
the
sun from the
sun.
background. I don't think that seeing it on print will probably do it as much justice until you actually see it in person. That's just my speculation on this kind of cover.
Yeah, no, I could agree with you on that one. Still a very nice cover. The 1 in 25. I like both of these covers. Again, the something about Lyrics Lee, dude. I just love it. Love it. But this Joel Jones cover is absolutely stunning. Up next, speaking super girl what am I saying? Super girl. Superman Treasury 2025 Hero for All number 1. The cover D gives us the Superman movie poster cover. And guys, the summer of Superman is in full swing, man. It's been so for the last couple months, even though summer's just kicked off. Man, the month of July cannot come fast enough. No, actually, to be honest with you, June's going pretty fast.
It's
It is
I
going
find it is
pretty
going
fast.
pretty fast. I can't believe we're almost mid June, to be honest, already.
We are mid June. We're smack in the
Yeah.
middle. But man, if you're, you know, I look at books that have come out. Let's say Marvel. Let's talk Marvel. We got a lot of covers that have come out that featured movies, Iron Man characters, etc. I think this is a good pickup, man. Especially for the sake of you have the movie poster on this. You ever get the opportunity to get this signed, dude? I think it would be a great thing to have in your collection. Just keep it there.
And the fact that it's called Treasury 2025, I'm guessing this is one of those like magazine size kind of books, right?
Yeah, I believe so. You could see even the photos could like slightly bigger
Yeah,
than
so
normal.
I can't imagine shops are going to be ordering a lot of these just because I would imagine it's a higher entry point just to order these books. So especially now that these it's a variant, it's not a cover A. So this might be one of those ones that like if you really and also with the hype that the Superman movie is getting and who's if the movie ends up taking off, this might be a cover you might want to hold in your PC and not wait until it actually hits shops to actually pick it up.
Yeah, no, I'm picking this one up. Definitely gonna pick it up. I have faith in the movie. I know some people don't have faith in the James Gunn stuff, or I'm seeing people bashing the CGI, people loving the CGI via the trailers and teasers we've gotten. I'm on board. I'm picking this up. I like you said, man. I think this is great to have in your collection. DC is about to really kick off into high gear with Superman, so I think now is a good time to get it while it's still available at cover price. But
For sure.
very interesting cover here, guys. Very interesting cover. Let's talk about it because we've got Trinity, daughter of Wonder Woman, issue number 2, the cover B, Death in the Family homage variant cover featuring Trinity by Ben Oliver. Had you just look at this, it almost felt like an indie book, right? I don't know. There's something about the art that kind of gave me that vibe. If it wasn't for obviously seeing Trinity on the front, the art was a little off-putting. I get that the homage, you want to homage the original on this one, but there's just something about the original that stands out way more than this one, right?
Okay, so at least I'm not the only one that gave that was about to kind of give a negative take on this cover. I don't know. I'll be honest, it's not doing it for me. And I love a good homage, especially
Me too.
the Death in the Family ones. Like because
Yeah,
also because you don't see a lot of homages for that Mike Mignola set of covers that happened, yeah, back in the '80s. But I don't know. I don't know if it's because I'm generally not too much of a fan of Ben Oliver's character depictions because they tend to look very adolescent-ish.
yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. This one's not doing it for me, to be honest.
Yeah. No, it does say a corgi in the family. So I don't know. I don't think we'll be getting a death. Can we? Are we gonna vote for it, guys? Is that what's gonna happen? I have no idea. But yeah, this is. I'm interested by seeing the chat right now. Saying something. It's a little disturbing. I do agree with Cliff, who's saying Trinity seems to be bouncing around events, so perhaps that's the reason for the cover. Who knows? Who
Why? Because
knows?
that's why she looks so tired in this cover?
She looks very sad. Very
Yeah.
sad. Like, guys, just stop throwing me around in between events, please. Please, just give me an actual good story. But no, look, it's an homage. Like I said, it's not doing it for me, but for others, you guys might enjoy this. So you like you said, I enjoy a good homage. Doesn't do it for me. That's just
I
me,
wonder
guys.
if there's going to be like a series of these because there's four, right, in the Death in the Family, obviously from that
Yep.
storyline. So I wonder if there's going to be a series of these character covers that he's going to be doing, and
I'd
this is
like
just
to
one
see
for
that.
it.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
But so far, in my opinion, it's not off to the best start.
No, it's all for one at the
Yeah.
moment.
All for one. But still, very cool. For those of you who do enjoy a nice homage, especially to Death in the Family, this might be worthy of a pickup for you. Now, up next, guys, Invincible Universe. Battle Beast number 1 is now going to a third printing. Here we have the cover A. It's, of course, everybody loved the first issue. I know the blind bags got a lot of love. Second printing got a little bit, but I wonder if people are going to completely sleep on this third printing. Probably, they all got their fix already with the first print, second print. So I wonder if this is even going to be highly ordered. Is this going to be one of those scarcer situations when it comes to Battle Beast?
Well, I mean, if any of the popular image titles as of late taught us anything, it's almost like we should probably expect a sixth and seventh print for this series, right? At this point,
You're not wrong. You're not wrong, and it wouldn't surprise me.
yeah. I mean, look,
Yeah, I agree.
again, but is this gonna hit like long term? Who's to say? But again, this is just one of those things where, like, if you're already collecting the first and second, and you might as well just grab the third, just to kind of, as again, from an OCD point of view, I would probably just grab it, just to kind of stash it.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. Absolutely. Look, I'm guilty for being on board with the Transformers number one. I've gone for every print, and we've well surpassed the 10th. So,
Yeah,
yeah, I know the feel. I know the feel. But very
it's the
interesting to
collector
see
bug.
Battle. Yeah, Battle Beast issue number one is going to a third printing. So if you guys are fans of that, you might want to pick that up. Now, I spoke Momoko's cover earlier, and this is the one. Ultimate Spider-Man issue 17 goes to a second printing. This is Earth 6160 Gwen Stacy cover depiction by Peach Momoko. As you can see, Gwen Stacy is walking, well, not walking around, basically is Mysterio in the Ultimate Universe. Very
See,
interesting.
this is a cover I can get behind just because of the composition of it. Like, and I'm always a fan when an artist uses the complete page for the cover, and there's not a lot of dead space around. The fact that it's completely covered. I mean, again, this is one of those covers you almost wish it was there's a virgin variant.
Yeah.
Um, so no, I'm totally digging this Momoko cover.
Yeah.
And I just like the whole thing with, like, you don't get it at first until you realize, oh shoot, it's actually in Mysterio's helmet. So
Yeah,
I love that.
guys, in our group chat, and Lefteros is the only one really campaigning this, and I really encourage everyone to be on board as well. Me and him have been like messaging each other about it too. Ultimate Spider-Man issue 13, man. You guys really need to be picking that up. You really need to be picking that up. And I think it's only a matter of time. Great book. Ultimate Spider-Man issue 17. Momoko killed it. I think this is more than just a hit for me when it comes to Momoko. I think she did a complete home run. And I love it, man. This is very well thought out. I love how you have her just sitting in the bowl head. And yeah, man, just really really good. Love
Yeah,
this.
this is
Totally.
definitely more in her wheelhouse. Like, don't get me wrong, I like those portrait covers she does, but I'm more of a fan when she does these kind of covers where there's more of like a scenery to it.
Yeah, I love it. Very good. Definitely a pickup for me. But one thing I hate that Marvel does do is this. Now you have Imperial number one, the 1 in 25 incentive in black and white. This is the Nova cover that we got on the first print done by Scotty Young. I don't even know where to go, man. At this point,
I'm with you. I'm with you. Don't worry. You're not alone.
yeah,
You're
don't
not
get me
alone.
wrong. Again, in black and white, it does look nice. This would be great. You can get Scotty Young to do a nice signature right above him, and then whatever color, obviously. If you want to do it in silver, if you want to do it in, I don't know, lime green or pink or whatever it is that you're into, would look great. But I exactly, Derek. Thank you. It's so lazy. I hate that they do this. Really do.
My thing is, okay, there's certain artists out there, and I've made this point before, where sketch in black and white almost lends itself to their favor. Like the ones I'm thinking of is David Finch, Jim Lee, that have like intricate pencil work. Those are the ones that
Yeah.
I could see getting a sketch cover. When it comes to, like, Scotty, like, especially his baby covers, we know it's very, like, like the line work. I almost feels like it lends better when it's colored. I'm not really a big fan when Scotty does baby covers and it's black and white. That's why, like, when they did those like 1 in 50, no, what was it, the 1 in 100s of those
Yeah.
Scotty series covers, I was never really a fan of them. Like, I find like his baby covers lends well more so for, especially like another artist is like Alex Ross. I never really got behind his 1 in 100 timeless variants. I always like the colored versions of the Alex Ross covers. So certain artists
Yeah.
I kind of find lend better to color
Yeah.
than black
No,
and white.
I agree with you at 100%. And Chia, I agree with you as well. It does work in a black and white, but it does feel lazy. That's the only thing. It's just like they keep doing this. They always just color swap or give us black and white on a second printing ratio. And here's another prime example, guys. Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion issue number one gives us the 1 in 25 incentive. Miles Morales and Ultimate Spot cover depiction by Kyle New. Very nice cover. This was amazing as a foil, by the way. Like, really nice cover. And I had said that I wanted to see this, not as a foil. I would like to see this as just a regular cover and as a virgin. It's a great
Yeah.
cover. Again, great cover, but kind of still gives me the same "this feels lazy" vibe. Somebody needs to talk to Cebulski over at Marvel and be like, "Dude, stop this! Please give us new covers."
So wait, hold on. So you're telling me this cover was already done before?
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
Yeah. Okay. That kind of, because I was gonna be totally behind this cover until you told me that. But at this point, I mean, I'm really surprised. I mean, it's almost like, you know, we kind of complain about it, but Marvel's gonna do what Marvel does
Yeah,
in these kind of situations. So
for sure.
they,
But
they they
again,
see a cover that's hot and they're gonna milk that cow dry.
yeah, it is a nice cover.
Yeah.
I will stand by that, and I will continue to say that this is a wonderful cover. But again, I just hate the approach. It's the approach. It just feels lazy because you spent a little on that foil, and then now you end up getting this, and it's like, oh, you know what I mean? But regardless, still a nice cover.
Yeah.
Now, up next, guys, something that I'm actually really excited about is to see Rose Besh on Radiant Black, because the 1 in 25 incentive for Radiant Black issue 32 is done by Rose Besh. I love this. Love this. Rose Besh. I would have never thought, man. Rose Besh, Radiant Black. Let's put that together. Bang. Look at that, man. That's amazing, dude.
Yeah, and the fact that well, it's a full cover and also it's issue 32 of the run. How many shops are realistically are gonna order 1 in 25 of this issue, right?
Yeah.
So I
Dude, it's dropped off. It's dropped off.
yeah,
The
like
hype.
like I'm sure it's still a good like I'm not following Radiant Black, but even if it's a good read, I don't see the same buzz on it as
Before.
in the initial first dozen issues. Not to say that it's a bad read or anything, just saying that like other people's attentions have gone elsewhere. So that's
Yeah.
why like I'd be curious to see how many of these are actually in the wild like come new comic book day.
Yeah, man. You saw so sorry guys, it's actually Radiant Black issue 35. Typo by Lefteros. But one thing, dude, you saw how we were all hyped on it, man. Myself, you had Comic Dude, Face, all of us over
Yeah.
at the Kingpins. This is all we were talking about, dude. Like
And
we
Sheik,
love.
doesn't he have that Radiant Black podcast?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
There's Comic Chic, who literally is the host of the Radiant Black podcast. And
Mhm.
I mean, Radiant Black was great, but a lot of people dropped off. There was a little hiatus there, and that's kind of what like maybe put a stick in that wheel for a little bit. But I encourage everybody, man, continue with this. I think Rose Besh did an amazing job. I love it. I've never in a million years, if you would have asked me like, hey, who should be doing a Radiant Black cover, I would have never said Rose Besh, never. And my God, am I blown away?
This kind of gives me a bit of Static vibe also from DC, like
Does
this
have
cover.
that. Does have that. I do agree with you on that one, man. But anyways, very nice cover there. Speaking nice covers, guys, this one is insane, man. We were just talking Ben Oliver before. This 1 in 100 incentive for New Avengers issue 2. Holy shit. This is a sick cover, dude. This is
Okay,
stunning.
I'll say okay. This cover does make up for that homage cover that we saw before.
Yeah, absolutely. If anything, man, like this is one of my favorite covers on the list tonight. This is sick.
Yeah. Now being a 1 in 100, I don't know if I would, you know, if I'm that much in love with that cover. I mean, I'm assuming because it's a 1 in 100, there's probably a trade dress version available of this, right? I would think.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. So I mean, if I really was that much into the car, I'll probably just get the trade dress. But dope
So
cover.
yeah, there's the trade, and it says the New Avengers like right behind her head at the
Okay.
top. So it's always a great alternative for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I definitely prefer the trade at all times. But in this case, dude, the Virgin looks a lot nicer. But a good option if you want to go out with the trade, guys, and keep some extra coin in your pocket. By all means, man. By all means, I highly put this up there as my
Is Ben Oliver Chia Pet's uncle or something?
no. Why? Oh, yeah, he's getting aggressive in the chat. Yeah, Derek, there is a trade dress. There is a trade dress, so definitely check it out, man. Um, I'm gonna be picking this up as a trade for sure. But all right, this was the thumbnail for tonight because I think it goes down as probably one of the best covers available on FOC this week. And Lefteros puts this one up as a cover selection: Giant Size House of M #1. the Talavera variant. And my God, did Ivan Talavera kill this cover, dude? One of the best covers on the list tonight.
Yeah, you know what? It's very subtle, but I like the fact that the giant size House of M is at the corner. It's not front and center, so it
Yeah,
gives you all most of the focus on Wanda on the cover. So I like that little placement of the trade dress. Yeah, dude. Again, going back to our earlier point about covers that you would think are ratio covers versus covers that shouldn't be ratio covers. This easily could have been a ratio cover, no doubt.
absolutely. But guess what? It is because you have the 1 in
Oh, okay.
50.
Well, there you go. There you go.
Yeah, 1 in 50 available in a virgin. Both are stunning. Both are stunning. Both as a trade or as a virgin. So whichever one you guys end up going for, I would say there's nothing wrong with that. I'd pick up one of either. I'm gonna go with the trade. That's just
Yeah,
me.
the
But
the
if I,
Virgin definitely does add to it, and at least it's a 1 in 50 and not a 1 in 100. So I mean, there's that.
yeah,
But yeah, I'd probably go with the trade because again, like I'm not hating on the trade dress version, anyways, just because it was like I said, it's in the corner,
yeah,
so it's not
exactly. It's very
it's not
subtle.
obstructing the art.
Yeah, very subtle, barely in your face. I'm cool with it. So yeah, I'm gonna pick up the trade. But the Virgin, whoever picks it up, man, stunning cover, absolutely gorgeous. But guys, Death of the Silver Surfer, issue number 2. We have the main cover here. Possible introduction of an ancient threat related to Galactus. I remember seeing this cover when they announced the death of Silver Surfer,
Hmm.
and or shortly after. And dude, when I saw this, I was like, man, I just need this book for the cover. Like literally for the cover. Blown away by the read with issue number 1. Here we have issue number 2. And this cover is just amazing. And if you think this is amazing, guys, look at the 1 in 25 as well. The incentive, dude. Simone De Mayo did an amazing job on this. I love it. But I kind of feel this falls into that category, like you and I were talking about, where the 1 in 25 kind of doesn't entirely feel or need to be the 1 in 25. I really thought this would
I
be.
was gonna say, yeah, I would swap in terms of what's the ratio and what isn't the ratio. This definitely yeah, dude, this is on fire.
Yeah, this is a automatic pickup, no doubt about it. Great read, amazing cover. There's nothing telling me otherwise that I'm gonna pass on this. So yeah,
And
totally worthy of a pickup.
a bit of a deep cut. I'm actually going to be able to contribute something in terms of reading wise. If you guys want a good story where it talks about the last days of Silver Surfer, I would definitely recommend you go back and read Silver Surfer Requiem. It's a miniseries
Yes,
by J. Michael Straczynski that talks about like his final days on Earth. It's a 4 issue mini. Definitely read that. And it's so this is not the first time we're reading about Silver Surfer's death.
yeah, no, exactly. Uni saying that he just read it. I'm happy. I know Uni was on it. He picked up like 2 copies of this at his LCS for issue number 1. Definitely picking up issue 2. I'm so happy that this is a regular cover and not an incentive. So I'm super, super pumped about that.
We're not
Definitely.
hating on the DeMeo cover. We're just saying that the Kumar cover is more worthy of being the ratio. I don't recall me or BC throwing shade at DeMeo at all.
Not at all. Not one bit. But guys, that's the FOC selections for tonight. So if you liked any of those books and you live in the States, go visit comicnation.us. Again, they give you 15% off of the cover price every single week for FOC, but use discount code Black Crown to get an additional 5% off, giving you 20% off of your order. And if you're in Canada, go visit comiclegion.ca. They give you the 20% off the bat every single week on FOC. But if it's your first order, use discount code ENLIST to get the additional 5% off. If you want to know more about Lefteros' picks, well, go visit coverprice.com, man. You can check out his top FOC picks for this week, full rundown, details as to why he picked those. And of course, Cover Price offers many other awesome things. Check us out also on the YouTube channel for Cover Price every Tuesday, every Thursday, 9 p.m., bringing you guys, 9 p.m. Eastern, giving you guys the top 10 lists and, of course, the shakers. And if it's your first time here, man, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, man. Show some love. We're getting close to episode 100. There's a lot going on as of that point and on. Now, it's time for one of my favorite parts of the show, which is the market report. So, hype, let's go look at some of those books that sold on the aftermarket. just within the week. You ready?
I'll be ready.
He's
I
ready.
I, w- I am ready.
He
Actually, I
is
am ready.
ready. There you go. All right, guys, market report. I am looking at multiple lists throughout the week, whether it be House of Stein, CBSI, Key Collector, Covrprice, Go Collect, checking sales over on eBay, checking Instagrams, people sharing some stuff that's sold within the week. That tends to blow my mind. But most importantly, guys, Michael Baker, the Baker Shakers. That's right. He hits me up every single day to be like, yo, BC, look what sold. And he just shows me nonstop. Dude, that chat goes nonstop. And I tell you, if you got to clear a cachet, you got to clear a history. I think myself and Michael Baker, that would be stop number one. If I need to clear up some memory. But yeah, man, tons of great books. So let's kick it off. Let's see what books hit the list this week. Again, these books are in no particular order. There's nothing specific. Just looking at books that sold. First book we have is Superman Unlimited #1. This is, of course, from this year, 2025. It's the Fandango Collector's Bundle, and the book and this bundle was limited to 1,000. Raw near mint is already hitting 150 US dollars. It was on Covrprice's daily shaker, and dude, already, like I said, the summer of Superman is in full gear. They It's in full swing, baby.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the gun hype is real. Like he definitely knows how to market the movie. And look, we talked about this on your previous segment. Like, there's a lot of hype going around that Superman movie that's kind of come out, and for all intents and purposes, I really hope it succeeds just for DC's sake, just because I want that momentum. What's interesting, I mean, we've seen these kind of movie promo comics in the past, right? Where AMC and other theaters have given out these kind of promo material. I could be wrong, but you don't usually see print runs disclosed for these kind of promotional comics. Usually, it just you don't know what the print run is. In this case, they actually tell you it's 1,000. Now, whether it's an actual 1,000 or not, that's a different discussion. But the fact that it's a finite number, I think, probably adds to the value of this comic.
Yeah, absolutely. So to give you guys an idea of what this bundle actually entailed, so basically you got a limited edition 24 by 12-inch concept art print, which is very nice, by the way. Then you get yourself the movie ticket, so you have one Superman movie ticket in any format. You've got the exclusive Superman comic book, and it also comes with a Superman cap. And it was selling for $59 US, man. That thing sold out so fast, dude. And look at that, man. Now the comic itself selling at 150. So you got all those perks for free. For free and then some. You got yourself some popcorn money, and that's probably it because popcorn's expensive.
Who was it? I think it was Rattlesnake that brought up a good point, like how it's going to be packaged. Because the fact that it's not just a comic, but it's going to be packaged with some other goodies, I would hope that there's some care given in terms of packaging that book with the other collectibles inside. Because it's not like they're just going to ship it in a Gemini mailer. It's going to be with the other items in a box, right? So you would hope that these don't get bludgeoned. And if they do, then that means there's gonna be more of a premium for the ones that ended up surviving.
Yeah, it's funny because those milk bones guys. We were talking on Cover Price, and we let people know that it was back in stock while we were live, and like so many people thanked us, and thank you guys for actually even paying attention or tuning in and watching because yeah, those were available, and then people were telling me they ordered from the website from Milkbone directly. They got their comics and of course the dog treats, but it was shipped like dog shit. So basically, a lot of these books did not survive the 9.8 potential. And what ends up happening now is, like you said, right? Those 9.8s are going to be sought out after because a lot of them were sent poorly. But I think this might be the same case when it comes to this Fandango. I don't know if they're shipping out these bundles. Um, I would imagine that's how it's going to function, right?
I would like okay, my optimism side would think that a company like Fandango knows it's kind of like this package is catering more to a collector's market versus the Milkbone comic was more of a promotional comic. So to them, I don't think they really cared as it doesn't really for them they kind of viewed it as reading promotional material. I don't think they really viewed it as something that was going to be like a sought after collectible. But
Yeah.
I would like to think that Fandango like just given this is surrounding the actual Superman movie and it's not like some dog biscuit, you would hope that they would put a bit more care into the packaging for these.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. But guys, we're only on the first book. I want to shout out a lot of you who just popped in. I see people like Christina Payne, Dan De La Torre, TKO is here. You've got Ben LaRouche in the house. You've got my brother JD, Raging Cajun. So I appreciate you all for tuning in. Alex, I see you there as well. Guys, welcome. And if you missed the beginning, happy Father's Day. If I haven't reached out to you personally, I just genuinely didn't have the time. But happy Father's Day to you, your fathers, whether they're with us or not, and everybody. But yeah, Superman Unlimited #1, that Fandango collector's bundle that was limited to 1,000. Now already the comic selling for a run near mint, $150. Funny, eh? I wonder how they're guaranteeing that near mint on the sale.
Only time will tell.
Yep, exactly. But up next, guys, this blew my mind. Absolutely blew my mind. Invincible #1. This we go back to 2014. This is the Image First reprint of Invincible 1. A CGC 9.8 copy just sold for $300. Guys, we are in the Baker Shaker territories already. It's the only copy in a 9.8 on the census. This is a dollar book. You could have got this for $1. And here we are. Dude, I have it. I have it in one of my boxes.
You think it's a 9.8 contender?
Yes, absolutely.
Because I was gonna say, I mean, I'm surprised that it's only one, but I'm not too surprised that it's a low census count because if I recall, these Image First, they're not exactly the best paper quality compared to the actual Image books themselves because it's $1.99, so it's meant more as a placeholder from the actual, legit, first print copy, right? This is meant more for, just as a reading material kind of source. No one actually, when Image put these out, it wasn't intended for this, so it doesn't completely surprise me that there's a low census count when it comes to 9.8, but honestly, also, like an actual first print at this point, what is it going for? Like $3,000 Canadian at this point, right? 3.5 grand.
Yeah. Like it's way up there.
Yeah. So again, the fact that it's that trickle down effect, right? When the first print gets that stupid level of money, people are gonna go for the next best thing. We saw this also with
Is this the next best thing? I think there's more things
no, for sure, for sure. But I'm talking about in terms of getting the next best thing to his first appearance. Like like we've seen this with the ASM 129, that Marvel Tales reprint. It doesn't go nearly as much as this, but that also commanded a premium because it's a first
Bro.
appearance of Punisher that if you can't afford the actual ASM 129, people flock to that. Now I'm actually curious though, with the trend like this, the other Image First, Walking Dead #1. I'm curious, like I'm gonna have to do some research to see how that's doing because
I don't think it's doing anything, man.
no,
Like
because I don't think Walking Dead #1 is nearly as expensive as Invincible #1 in a 9.8. I think Invincible actually beats Walking Dead in terms of its price point in a 9.8.
probably right now specifically.
Yeah,
I think more so than ever. But it's funny because I look at Marvel. Marvel does those true believers, right? And it's funny because I'll look at like certain shops that we shop at locally when they do their posts.
yeah.
Dude, those true believers are selling at $10. I'm like, excuse me, like that just blows my mind, right? And
$10?
yeah, like people scooping that up. I'm like, my God, are we really at this point? But yeah, this is a thing. Now to see this, I kind of agree with Uni too, man. Ben, I see you agreeing with Uni. Me too. I kind of feel like, did somebody not know what they were buying? Is that the
That could
case?
also be a possibility. That could also be a possibility. But also, the other thing to keep in mind is how many people really had the mindset of actually sending in an image first to get graded. So maybe the other factor I guess I didn't factor in was it's probably a low census count because people just didn't think of sending like for
I
in
would
your
not
case,
have
your
ever.
copy, right? Like let's take your copy for instance.
Yeah.
Who's to say that once they see this sale that you're going to see like a flood of these image first getting sent to be graded? And at that point, you know what happens, right? The price starts getting diluted, and
Hey,
it's
look,
gonna,
Love for Comics is saying he's
exactly.
trying to get his already. Just leave it.
Exactly.
So there you have that. But yeah, I found this to be mind blowing, man. Very interesting. Invincible #1, the Image First 2014 reprint of Invincible #1. It was the only copy on CGC's census in a 9.8. Let's see how long that lasts.
Hmm.
CGC 9.8 selling at $300. Up next, guys, I love coming across Michael Turner stuff. I've been saying this, how I'm picking up a lot of Michael Turner stuff in general. And specifically when it comes to Laura Croft stuff, I love seeing that. But in general, I'm also picking up this Fathom, other stuff. Michael Turner's Soulfire preview number one. This we're going back to 2003. It's the Pittsburgh Comic Con edition, obviously by Aspen. CGC 98 selling at $300 US. We're in con season as we speak, guys. San Diego Comic Con's coming up in just a couple weeks. I love seeing this book. This is a stunning cover, man. Michael Turner is just he's Michael Turner. Dude, absolutely incredible cover.
Yeah, I mean, like Soulfire was one of those series that he did a lot of covers on. But again, it's always those con variants that always stand out because again, they were for specific cons, so they were a much limited print run. So the chances of you finding this in the wild are very slim. So it's almost like if you want to get this book, it's almost like you have to actively go out and find it either online or go to conventions, because yeah, this is not one of those books that you can easily just find rummaging through. I mean, you could possibly get lucky in a back bin or something, but again, this is just one of those books that you're not going to find like in your run of the mill shop.
No, exactly. It's one that you will almost never come across. So I you know what, man, CGC 98 going for $300. I would probably hit the
It's
bait
not a
and
bad price actually. Yeah.
yeah, I try to scoop one up, man, because I just love Turner's work, man. I think the cover is stunning, and the fact that it's from the Pittsburgh Comic Con back in 2003, dude. I think this is really cool, man. It would be almost difficult to find it raw, especially from 2003 to now, man. Who knows
Yeah.
if you'll come across the 98? So I think 300 is pretty fair. I think it's fair.
And it's the Pittsburgh Comic Con. We're not talking about like one of the more major Comic Cons like NYCC, where there probably is a higher print run, or like some of the more major cons. So there's that as well.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you. But I love this book. Very, very gorgeous cover, man. Michael Turner is an absolute legend. And here you have his Soulfire preview number one, the Pittsburgh Comic Con edition in a CGC 98 that sold for $300 US. Now, obviously, with you on, we have to talk video games. And Assassin's Creed number one, back from 2007, gave us the first comic appearance of Assassin's Creed in general. And a CGC 98 also recently sold for $300. This being a cover price daily shaker, it's actually the highest sale recorded to date for this issue.
I'm actually surprised it's actually not higher. I don't have this book, by the way, but because this is one of those books that it wasn't actually an open order or anything like that. This was an actual pre-order bonus, if I'm not mistaken. That
Yep.
for the first Assassin's Creed game, when you bought the game, it came with this book, and it was like I think it was like a mini comic. I think it was only like 16 or 15 pages, so it wasn't even actually like a full. It was basically like a promo comic that you see nowadays for those
Exactly.
pre-orders. So again, you don't see a lot of these circulating in the wild. So again, yeah, like Uni said, I was expecting more in the $400 or $500 range, just because of the scarcity of it, and because going back to that Superman Fandango comic, this is probably not a book that you're going to see a lot in high grade, just because it was I don't know if it was mailed away or if GameStop just kind of gave it as a promo. Like that X-Men comic that GameStop had, literally, dude, they just had it in a counter, just in a cellophane bag. There's no bag and board, so they
Yeah.
just drop it on the desk. So GameStop doesn't exactly bag and board their comics, right?
Well, like
So
I told you, man, that girl today when I went to
yeah,
EB Games, man, the way she was handling that book, I was like, yeah, so you know what? I'm definitely not buying two Legends action figures with the way
yeah,
you were touching that shit. But yeah, man, it's very cool to see, man. Uni has a copy, so shout out to Uni, man. Yeah,
nice.
definitely, I would get it graded, man, 100%, man. I think 300 does seem a little low, and it's the top sale. Assassin's Creed is a franchise that is huge, man, huge amongst the gamers, man. So I thought this would have been higher as well, but $300 being the highest sale for Assassin's Creed number one, hey, man, not bad, absolutely not bad at all. Alex saying he tried to get one here in Salt Lake City, and no GameStops had them. Referring to the Giant Size X-Men.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's what he's referring to.
Yeah, that is what he's referring to. And yeah, man, dude, I hear a lot about that, man, that a lot of people come across shops. My shop has, but no way am I buying two Legends action figures for that.
I
Absolutely.
was see, I was you know how sometimes GameStop have some of these figures on clearance. I was looking for the legends that are on clearance, and yeah, no, none of them were on clearance. They were all like $30 and up.
Yeah. But hang tight, guys. We have another video game comic coming up on the list in just a bit. But up next, we've got Harley Quinn issue 75. This takes us to 2020. This is the Celebrity Authentics edition that has Margot Robbie on the cover, CGC 98, 170 US dollars. Baker Shaker this week. And I like this cover, man, because I talk about these types of covers in general when you have an actor who played a character. Sure, Suicide Squad did not do as good as everybody was hoping it was going to do, but I gotta still give credit where credit's due, man. I think when it comes to playing Harley Quinn, she did a great job.
Yeah, and the thing is, what I like about this particular photo variant is I'm more a fan of these kind of variants than the ones that, like, where you see a photo variant where it just looks like they took a still from a movie and then they just made a photo variant out of it.
Yep.
This one actually looks like there's some thought put into it with the background and like just the way she's kind of centered. So I like these kind of photo variants a lot more. And I never actually seen this until you showed it on your slide right now, so it's pretty dope.
Yeah, I do like it, Chia, because of her. Absolutely,
Of
Margot
course, I
Robbie.
mean, I don't blame him.
She looks amazing, but I know a lot of people when they talk about the James Gunn reset, the reboot for the DC universe that's happening right now, and they're like, yeah, Henry Cavill should have continued to still play Superman or whatever, or Jason Momoa continuing as Aquaman. Dude, I will agree with her continuing as Harley Quinn. That I am
For
all
sure.
on board for. All
Yeah,
on board.
I mean, who's to say that someone else can play? I'm sure there's other actresses, but once you kind of, are like have a character like an actor that killed it, it's almost like now you want to see her play more of that role.
Yeah,
And she did great in both the first and the second. The first movie, for as much criticism as it got, Margot Robbie definitely wasn't one of the low points of that first Suicide Squad movie.
exactly, man. I agree, man. I agree. Is nah, BC is 100 with Gaga. Absolutely not, man. That movie was pure trash. Don't look. Gaga's got pipes, man. That chick can sing better than majority out there up in the music world. But no, I'll take Margot Robbie all day, every day, because Harley Quinn issue 75, the Celebrity Authentics edition that features Margot Robbie on the cover, CGC 98, $170. Not too bad, man. I think that's a good buy. Good buy. But all right, the book I hate, especially with you here, only because you stole this from under my nose. But The Crow #1, back from 1999. Fuck you, dude. Todd McFarlane cover.
I had to bring it out.
Yeah, CGC 98, $495. Put it up. Go ahead. Rub it in my face.
But it's not a 9.8. It's a 9.6. I'll take a 9.6 though.
Absolutely. I'll take it all day, man. I'd even crack that and make McFarlane sign that, dude.
I don't know, man. Well, to be honest, I don't know if I'd want it signed. I almost like the whole black cover on it. Like, there's certain books I almost feel better off leaving it unsigned. I don't know. That's just me.
That's fair. That's fair. But man, when you think McFarlane covers, dude, like obviously people go back and they'll start thinking ASM, Spawn stuff. But man, I feel like this Crow cover gives us it almost feels like a different take, right, on like his art. Like we've seen McFarlane's art all across, dude. Multiple IPs, characters, but the way he did the Crow for this issue #1 is just amazing. And
It's funny you should mention that because like I'll just tell you who, like, Harry, we know him locally. It was in his warehouse as his claim sale that I got this book from. When I went to go pick up the book, to your point, he was like, "Oh shoot, I didn't even realize it was a McFarlane cover." He said, like, had I known it, he probably, I don't know if he said he would have not sold it or anything, but like he wasn't even aware that it was a McFarlane cover because like when you look at it, you don't immediately think McFarlane when you see this cover.
no,
That's not the first thought that comes to your mind. So it is
no.
a different take for sure.
Yeah, dude, I love it. It's a great different take by McFarlane, man. It's a great book to have. Like you just finished saying, man, you picked it up for dirt cheap over at Harry Sale, man. And when he posted it, I swear to God, you beat me by like a millisecond. I was about to hit send. I'm like, that fucking guy, that fucking guy.
Unix. That's the whole reason why BC is throwing shade at me for that cover. It's yeah. But
Yep.
I do remember you did get me back because I think you ended up claiming a TMNT book, I think, on the next sale right before I could.
I didn't even want that book, but I saw you.
Oh,
there.
you just did it because as an FU to me.
I saw you there. That's how we do. That's what friends do, yo. But anyways, love this cover. Love this book. I love the Crow. always go back to watch the Brandon Lee stuff, man. The first movie, and it's just amazing, dude. Crow is part of my. I know I shouldn't have watched it as a child, but it was part of my childhood.
The sequels don't exist. That's the way I look at it.
No, absolutely nothing exists after that, especially the latest one, dude. I tried watching that. My God, it was brutal.
I haven't seen the latest one. You're talking about the one with forgot that actor's name. The guy that played it. That one, right?
Yeah, I didn't like it at
Yeah.
all, at all.
Okay.
And
I'll take your
I
word.
had a bit of hope. I had a bit of hope with the trailer. I was like, okay,
Skarsgård. That's his name. Skarsgård.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So, yeah, yes. No, that's not the case at all. It was the other way around. Lefthero screwed me out of the first Franklin. So
Oh wow. Okay. So.
Franklin and a nihilist, man. It's that one book I will never get, especially after the month of July. But anyways, Crow number one, 1999. Todd McFarlane cover, CGC 98, $495 US. Check this shit out. Batman One Bad Day, the Riddler number one. This being the Tom King story back from 2022. There's only sorry, this is the only CGC 10 copy on the census, and that copy just recently sold in a CGC 10, not 98. That's a
Okay, I
total
was gonna say
typo.
9.8 for a book that came out 3
No,
years
no, no, no,
ago.
no. It's a typo. CGC 10,
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Okay, all right.
$650. Hey, bro, I get a break here, okay? Because
No,
I
because
made
dude,
slides
you actually gave me
while having supper for
no,
Father's
no. You actually kind of broke my heart because I was actually about to go look for this book somewhere locally because I don't think this is a book that actually has any key significance. I'm like, there's got to be a copy around here somewhere. But now that you told me it's a 10, I'm like, forget it.
Yeah, but I love the cover, dude. This cover is sick. Like it's so good. But when it comes to paying premium for those tens, man, it's not for me. It's like $650 is it's pretty up there, man. It's pretty up there. And yeah, dude, the book is still at LCS's. Yeah, Lefteros, dude. I know the field. Don't worry, man. I know. I make my typos. You make your typos. That's how we do. We work. We don't stop. That's how things are. But yeah, man. CGC 10 at 650. I don't know, man.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't this also a prestige format?
Yeah, and they're bigger.
So it's also a lot more. I'm not gonna say no. I will say it would be a bit more easier to get a 99 and a 10 with that kind of book. Like I think your odds are a lot more in that in your favor when you submit those kind of books in. But yeah, 650 for a 10 for a book that really has no, as far as I know, any significance in terms of any impact, like events
No,
or
at
anything
all.
like
There's nothing key to this. There's absolutely
it's a
nothing.
bit wild to me too for someone to be paying that much just because of a grade.
Yeah, it is very interesting to see, man, how a CGC 10 for Batman One Bad Day, the Riddler number one, sold for $650. It's huge sale. But again, it comes with that premium, right? And it's interesting because I just saw 99 Newsstand over on Instagram. Shout out to Manu, dude.
Mhm.
He posted like, what if the 99 grade never existed? You know what I mean? And then people went into a deep dive on that. So definitely an interesting conversation. And yeah, David, that's just a typo on my end. It was a 10.
Everyone's just gonna not let you down on that one.
Yeah, it is a 10. It is a 10. That's all.
And look, I always have this question that I always ask when I see a 10-0. Let's see if you can get that 10-0 again if you were to resubmit that book.
Yeah, exactly. It's a 1 in 10 ratio, dude. I'm telling you, I checked the sale, I verified it. If you guys are wondering, by the way, what I use to verify sales, I use 130 points. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that.
Yeah,
Great websites to validate sales and see what
yeah, it gives
prices
you
are.
confirmed sales because eBay you kind of just see best offer, but you don't know what the actual person paid.
Exactly, and it takes you to the actual link of the eBay sale as
Yeah.
well, and it was the 10 in fact that did sell. So just wanted to put that out there. But up next, guys, check this big sale. Hack Slash issue 25, back from 2013. This is the Jenny Frizen variant cover. I know Laura would be absolutely loving this one. There's 11 9/8 on the CGC census, and it's funny because 10 out of the 11 are actually blue label. Only one copy is signed, and a
Mm.
CGC 98 just sold for $750. Quite the premium here. And if I'm not mistaken, I think 25 is the final issue of this run, guys. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, man, this is a monster sale, dude.
Yeah, that late 2000, like 8, 9, early 2010, that almost felt like peak Frizen in terms of like and I don't want to say peak actually still killing. I'm talking about value wise because it seems like Prison Hunters, like these are the kind of books that they're looking for. So I'm not completely surprised on this variant being that high in a 9.8, especially it's almost like over a decade ago that this book came out. So yeah, and again, this is not a cover I don't think I've ever seen this one in the wild actually ever.
Yeah, no, same, dude. Absolutely not. Dude, this take by Mark Robinson is one I would love to have a conversation about in the future. Maybe at a future episode we'll talk about that. But yeah, there could be more that just CGC did not give those grades on.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, Frizen, dude, you go back to earlier stuff. Covrprice actually just posted a video which I encourage everybody to go check out. They interviewed Frizen at a show and asked what is actually her first cover. Is it Hackslash or is it um
That
Voltron?
Voltron? Yeah.
Yeah, and her response was pretty interesting because she submitted one first and the other one got released prior to the one she submitted. So in her eyes, one of those is the first, and it was very interesting to hear. So
I mean, I personally would go by the publication, the cover that got published first. That's
yeah.
just, I mean, that's just my opinion in terms of what I would consider her first cover is. I would say the first cover that hit public eyes.
Yeah. But
So
the one that hit public eyes is not the one that she first drew. So to
yeah,
her first cover is a different book. That's all I'm saying. I won't tell you guys the answer. I want you guys to go check it out. So definitely check the video out. But Hackslash 25, the Frizen variant cover, CGC 98, $750. Now we're gonna go into foreign territories. I like doing this, throw in a foreign book every week if possible. But Incredible Hulk 181. There's a reason why I put this up because Heinz, I know you have one.
not the
CGC
Spanish version.
4.5. Yeah, not the Spanish one. You got the regular one. CGC 4.5, $225. This being a Baker Shaker this week. La Masa. This is pretty cool though because it basically contains Hulk 181 and 182. Wouldn't it have been funny if it had 180, 181? But no, they gave us 181, 182, and it does label that it is the first full appearance
Here we
of
go again.
Wolverine. Even the Spanish believe this. But
The Spanish have clearly placed their flag on what they consider as the first full appearance.
yeah, exactly. But I like seeing these, man. These foreign books, man, especially with like iconic covers, the different color popping that goes on. I don't know, man. It's just they some of them stand out, some of them are gorgeous, and I think this one is great. I really like the way this one pops, man. I like it.
Yeah, I don't know. Everything from like the fact that the font looks different. Uh, the font looks different, but at the same time, they're still keeping that whole classic Hulk Wolverine, swipe from the original 181 cover.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely one of those cool. It definitely would be a complimentary cover that you could put next to the actual 181. So I'm digging it, and yeah, this is not a cover I've seen either at my LCS, and my LCS does have a fair, healthy amount of foreign covers that they bring in. I don't think I've ever seen this one.
So yeah, one thing that you were mentioning about the font and the color and how it pops and everything, I kind of find like I don't know, man. It gives me like those 70s
Martial arts.
yeah, like martial arts
Yeah. I was
posters.
thinking the same thing, like that whole kung fu kind of movie feel
Yeah.
to it.
With like a I don't know, man. I don't know if there's like a hint of like luchador on it. You know what I mean? Like a luchador wrestling promo.
Yeah, like those posters that you would see, like yeah.
Yeah, but love seeing these
I
types of
dig it.
books.
I dig it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Incredible Hulk 181. This is the Spanish edition, guys. It contains Hulk 181, 182, CGC 45 selling at $225. Now, up next, Hyper Batman Adventures #1. I love talking about Batman Adventures. I love talking about the cartoon. It was a big staple for me growing up. Definitely a big part of my childhood. This one being a newsstand edition from 1992, and it's obviously based on the animated TV show. CGC 98 selling at $250 US. Baker Shaker this week. Slight newsstand premium on this one. What do you think of it?
I'm thinking how many of these is my because I've seen this book countless times. I just don't know if I've ever seen a newsstand copy. I probably have. I just maybe not have never really paid attention to it. But this number one issue I've seen so many times at the LCS. So, and again, this is also from the early '90s. So newsstands were literally like the ones that are from the actual convenience store rack. So a lot of these weren't hitting 9/8 back then because they weren't at your actual LCSs. So having a 9/8 and honestly 250 does seem kind of on the low end. For a newsstand from that era to get that grade, to be honest. So it's actually not a bad price.
Yeah, dude. Like in Canadian funds, man, I see this in a CGC 98 selling at like 120. So like at
Hmm.
250, man, you're going double.
Yeah.
Um, just to give you an idea. Rattlesnake Comics bringing up a fun fact though about the last book, La Masa, saying that there's a volume 2 issue 4 that has 180 and 181 in it from 1975, and that was before the one that we just showed. So pretty cool to see that. I had
The
no
Spanish
idea.
are trying to do some overcorrection.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, back to the Batman stuff, dude. I think this is cool. Again, slight premium. It's pretty much double what the regular direct copy goes for. So
Yeah.
yeah, I like this. I really just enjoy seeing the Batman Adventures comic, and it's funny because the direct, dude, you can pick up in a high grade for like $5.
Yeah, dude, it's not a hard book to find at all.
No, exactly, not one bit. But 9/8 Newsy sold for 250. So there you have that. Now I said I was going to talk video games. Sonic the Hedgehog. This one taking us back to 1992. Now, I've spoken in the past about this being included in certain DC books. There were promos that this was inserted in as well, but I've never spoken about this one, and I found this one to be pretty interesting because this is part of the Mean Machines edition that was included. Sorry, this is the Mean Machines edition, and it was included in issue 16 of Mean Machines. CGC 96 just sold for $405 US. Now, you're probably wondering, what is this kid even talking about when it comes to Mean Machines? So here's what it looks like, man. The Mean Machines magazine that you had back in the day, inside that had this Sonic the Hedgehog, and you could see there in the blue square it says Free Fantastic Sonic the Hedgehog 16-page special edition comic that was included with it. So really cool to see because, like I said, this is one that I've never even seen anybody really talking about when it comes to the Sonic stuff. And what's pretty fun at the bottom, like on the side you could see like the Sega Mega Drive, Super Famicom,
Yeah.
got Nintendo, Game Boy, Game Gear, but at the bottom, exclusive shock news, Super NES weeks from UK launch. The amazing story is exposed inside. So this was at the time that SNES was making its way, I guess.
Memory lane, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, this is not an easy book to find because just for the very fact that the Mean Machines magazine, like you pointed out, it's a magazine from the UK, so it's not even printed in North America. So obtaining this is almost like you pretty much have to actively either probably buy it online. You're not gonna really find these in the wild unless a shop got a collection of like UK magazines or something, and this happens to be in it.
Yeah.
And I know people can get confused, like you mentioned, because there's a similar insert, I think, also in the GamePro magazine, that has the same, almost a very exact cover, which goes for a fraction of what the actual Mean Machine comic goes for. So just be careful when you're trying to track this down. There is a similar cover like this for the. I think it's in the GamePro magazine. So
Yeah, Cliff.
but yeah, just yeah, this is not this is not an easy one to find. And if I stumble across it for a good price, I would definitely snatch it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I would totally pick this up. And yeah, Cliff, you did break me because the Travis comment is probably the best thing I've ever seen. Sonic has made more appearances on this show than Travis. But yeah, dude, everything you said about this book, I couldn't agree more, man. I've like I said, I've got multiple copies of those DC books where you have it as the insert, but never seen the Mean Machine one. So
Yeah.
if I come across it, I think it's a good grab. CGC 96, $405. Now, I couldn't have you on the show without talking about this book. Hyper, I think you have at least 20 copies of the actual X-Men 11.
Oh, I do, but I actually do have this one as well. I do have the press me.
There it is. Show me.
It's a 9.2. Well, I'll take a 9.2. Considering
Okay.
this, dude, I've seen this book several times at cons, but more often than not, they're usually not in the best condition because, well, actually, I'll let you do your read before I jump in because I'm sure you're gonna fill the audience in on
Oh
this.
no! All I was gonna say is that this is the X-Men 11 Pressman variant from 1992. It was shipped with the X-Men board game back at that point in time, and a CGC 98 just recently sold for $1,000 US. That's huge coin for this one. Not the highest sale, guys. There's a lot more higher sales that have come across, but still very impressive. There is a history behind this, and as you were gonna say, Hyper, take it away.
Yeah, no, no, like to your point, like this was shipped. This was a mail away comic that was shipped with the Pressman board game. So this was like to our earlier point. This was one of those kind of situations where the book wasn't exactly shipped in the best condition more often than not. So to find copies, even in like like low nines, is actually tough to find. Like the copies I saw at cons, they're generally VFs, VF minus, and even then they're asking for like triple digits. So honestly, just getting something in like a nine, like a 9.2, I was happy with. And I have to give a shout out to Rocksteady because the guy that sold it to me was in Edmonton. So Rocksteady's the one that actually went to go pick up the book on my behalf because Rocksteady's from Edmonton. So yeah.
There you go, man. Shout out to Rocksteady.
But definitely not a book you'll be able to find in high grade.
No, exactly, man. And you touched on all the points that it was a mail away, basically part of the X-Men board game. So yeah, coming across those high grade copies, like we were talking about with the Superman Milkbone stuff and other things as well. The Fandango one. Every time I say Fandango, I think of the wrestler.
The wrestler, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
But there you go, man. You see, David Lepage says he has a raw copy of this, and his has it's bent in the corner. So, yeah, and he still sold it for $150. So, just to give you
yeah.
guys
Yes.
an idea, is this Jim Lee's most iconic cover? If you ask Hyper all
I'm
day,
I'm biased. I'm biased. To me, it is. To me, this is Jim Lee. This is peak Jim Lee for me.
yeah. Well, a CGC 98 of this one sold for $1,000. Big sale. But guys, that was the market, and now we're gonna take it home with some of the hot topics from the week. And boy, it's gonna be an interesting one. Nothing too spicy, guys. Nothing too
Uh,
crazy. But it can get a little
yeah,
spicy depending how far we dive into this. So, Hyper, for the last time tonight, you ready, sir?
I'm ready.
Let's go. All right, guys, it's time for the hot topics. We're going to talk about some of the news that came out within the week. Now, as I've told you guys, we are gearing up for a tremendous summer, whether it be at the cinema, at the movie theaters, or is it going to be at the cons? There's lots of cons, and it's time for cons, baby. I'm excited about that. San Diego Comic Con. There's a few other points as well that made news this week that I didn't entirely make slides for because I don't feel like talking about it too much, but I'm sure you guys are already aware. James Gunn confirms that DC Studios is currently developing their Wonder Woman film, so that's good news. But I mean, what more can we say? Wonder Woman's going to be coming to the DC universe. Cool. And apparently, Al Ewing is going to be killing off Thor within comics. That's right. Marvel confirms the death of Thor. That's
Temporarily, right?
I mean, at this point, yeah, I
Yeah.
think we all can pretty much assume that because almost everything is
Listen,
temporary.
a comic death is the same as a wrestling retirement.
Yeah, exactly. Chipet, I agree with you too. Shocking. Wonder Woman is coming. But no, we have other things to talk about. So to kick it off, guys, we had a publication issue apparently with this particular book. And yes, that is my dad joke for Father's Day for you guys. But just to give you guys an idea, we have Gehenna, Naked Aggression #1 by Patrick Kinlan and Maurizio Rosenzweig. It's a new comic book series published by Image Comics that has been delayed by another month. It should have been out this week, but instead is now going to be out next month. The delays are not usual ones because instead the printer refused to publish the Maria Lovett polybagged cover because they found it objectionable. Oh boy. Patrick Kinlan suggests to Bleeding Cool that maybe it was because of the pubic hair.
Wait, you struggled on that one.
Yeah. Well, it says public hair, but I think they're talking pubes.
I mean, it's no longer the public hair because it's not printing anymore.
Yeah. Look, man, I don't know exactly what's going on, man. But if this is the case, who cares? Who cares? Just print the thing. Is it that bad? Is it
Oh,
that bad?
also, listen. Correct me if we. I think we were talking about this backstage. Like this was going to be intended to be in a like you mentioned polybag, right? So it always fascinates me where people draw the line because okay, it's like tits are fine and then like butts are fine, but as soon as we show pubes, it's like that's where we draw the line. It's there's always like I don't know. I'm just kind of fascinated where and why is that the line drawn?
I don't know.
Especially like it's a moot point if it's going to be in a poly bag, so it's not like it's going to be like in the racks for people to see. So it's just it's a weird take for a printing for a printer to have that stance on just that particular reason to not print it.
Hey, bro, listen.
Dude, you've seen decapitations on covers as well, and that goes. So again, for me, it's like where do you draw the line? This is where you draw the line, really?
I don't got a problem with Bush. If that's what's gracing this cover and this is causing the delay, I don't understand it. I don't think the printer in any right should be complaining about this. Like, just print the goddamn thing. I could see within this cover. I mean, I'm slightly questioning her positioning because I can't entirely see with what is covering over there.
I know
Um,
you're almost trying to do like some X-ray vision thing. I can tell on the screen right now.
Yeah, it literally says on the cover though that it will be in stores a couple of weeks later than expected because the printer found it objectionable and refused to print it. They had to take it elsewhere, and the date has been pushed to July 2nd as a result. So mark your calendars. But man, if it's really related to um, the pubes, like, dude,
But also, I think the bigger discussion is okay. So are we going to be setting a precedent now that the printer gets to almost have like a bigger because it's almost like again we're laughing about it because this is the reason. But okay, so at what point? So what's next? Like what's the next thing that they're going to object that's not going to be able to print if it's this, and then is it going to be suddenly okay? We can't have excessive blood. You know what I mean? Like when you start giving more autonomy to like to these printing companies and all that. It's almost like at where will they start moving the goalposts in terms of what's acceptable and what's not?
yeah, you're not wrong, dude. But again, I don't see an issue with it. Don't get me wrong, man. I if you guys like it, you like it. If you don't like it, you don't.
And dude, it's not like again, I'm not speaking from a point like I this is like the kind of cover that draws me. I'm just speaking from the point of like I guess almost in a form of free speech in a sense.
Yeah,
So it's like again, I'm just taking more of an exception on why this is the reason that we're drawing the line in terms of what can or can't be printed.
I don't know, man. If I was, the publisher here, if I was Image, man, I would actually have fun with this. Given the delays, man, I'd be like, guys, ship this out with a shaver or something. You know what I
Oh my
mean?
god, I was gonna I thought you were gonna suggest ship it out with an actual computer.
No, that would be absolutely mortifying. You don't do that. That's disgusting. No, never. Hyper, you are on another level tonight.
No, well, this is why it's guys. This is gonna be my first and last return on BC show.
No, don't worry. We need you back for episode 100. But yeah, like that's very shameful to put that in there. Definitely put a shaver.
Again,
I don't know.
I was not advocating it. I thought your joke was leading to that. For the record, let the
No,
record
you're
state.
sick. You're just a sick man, dude. That's just
Let the record state. I was not advocating for the insertion of said pubes in.
it's cool, man. Hey, you do
So
you. Did you ever watch the Jackass segments where they put those?
I'll be honest. I've never seen any of the Jackass movies. I never really. I've never seen any of them.
Really?
I've never seen any of them.
Oh my goodness, I'm learning so much about you tonight. But anyways, guys, this is pretty funny. I found this to be really interesting. I was reading this and I'm like, dear Lord, man, what is going on? But anyways, yeah, publication issues. That's my dad joke for tonight. All right, let's get into some more serious stuff. I don't know if you guys saw this, but Disney and Universal sue Midjourney over AI generated copyright infringement. So apparently they're getting together because they're saying it is an endless pit of like the amount of infringement that is happening via Midjourney. Now I know a lot of people campaign Midjourney, they enjoy Midjourney, they use it for work, etc. But the lawsuit right now is seeking damages and Midjourney's profits in an amount according to proof, or alternatively statutory damages of up to $150,000 per infringed work. It's unclear which option would be more costly, but it looks like Disney and Universal are saying, "Screw this, man." The copyright infringements happening via Midjourney, AI generated stuff. Which I don't know if you guys are familiar with Midjourney, but it can get wild. It can get wild, man. Very close to the chest too when it comes to some of the art, the work that you see people putting out, man. Just being on YouTube, guys. I follow a lot of people, support a lot of people that are within the community and even outside of this community, and you see there's AI thumbnails that exist that I'm like, holy cow, man! Like this looks like straight out of Cyberpunk, or this looks straight out of whatever, right? So I kind of get this. I totally get them for this. What do you think?
I'll be honest, I'm kind of surprised Disney didn't strike sooner, just because we've known Disney to be very litigious heavy when it comes to this kind of stuff. When they feel like any other IP seems to have some like copyright infringement remotely, they seem to strike fast and strike hard. So I'm honestly surprised it took them this long to actually go after Midjourney. I mean, it is a bit of a gray area because people could always the defense is it could be viewed as a parody, so not
Yeah,
an actual comedy. I mean, not an actual copy of Disney's IP, because it's not like I mean, you could use Midjourney and you could just label it. It's almost like Mad Magazine, same situation, right? Mad
yeah,
Magazine does a lot of parodies, and they use depictions of a lot of IPs. So it's a gray area. I'm not sure where this is gonna go. I'm just more fascinated by the fact that two studios actually setting aside their differences and coming together to take on Midjourney. That's probably my bigger takeaway on this storyline.
yeah. Look, there are certain blessings to AI. I work with colleagues that they sometimes ask it, Chat GPT to just put them together a response on certain emails. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. Am I a user for things of such? Certain things, man. Like I kicked off the video, this show, the intro video. There's part of that is AI to help me with certain things. I'm no master of like making graphics and stuff like that, but when you look at some of the things that are doable via AI, it is questionable. Look at all the shit that we've seen throughout comics, man. Like people using things, reusing things, AI. Like you could literally have AI do everything for you, and it's kind of scary, dude. Like how close to even some of the Disney products we see, Universal, and like I was just talking, like, wow, this looks like a straight out of Cyberpunk. It probably is. You know what I mean? Like they just take little things and make minor tweaks, and there you go.
Yeah, I mean, it is a bit of a broader discussion in terms of with how the advancement of AI art. It's almost like the new crop of artists that are coming out, into the workforce. Does that almost incentivize them to use more AI because, from an efficiency standpoint? And then there is the question of, okay, so what's authentic, what's not, right? So
Yeah.
because from like, look, a lot of these artists, that's their art is their bread and butter. So if they can find, look, for lack of a better term, a shortcut to increase their portfolio, I get it, I get the reasoning, but also then the question of what the authenticity of it, right? But then again, like I'm not in a position where this is my livelihood, where art is basically what's putting food on my family's table. So
No, exactly.
that's why, like, when people immediately crap on artists using AI, I'm not going to completely take that stance because, again, like it's almost like any profession when you're trying to find efficient ways of doing things. I just think there should be a bit more, what's the word, disclosure on what's actually AI and what's not. So at least from a consumer point of view, what you're getting, if it's an actual original art or if it's an AI generated.
Yeah, I
That's where
think
I
I
think
think that's
you
fair.
need to be a bit more transparent in terms of what are. So that is where I think we need to draw the line. But I'm not totally against people using AI, especially like I said, when it comes to their livelihood, and that's how they make their income. They just got to
I,
be a bit more transparent with it.
yeah, I agree with you. I think it would be fair, dude. You reshare shit over on Instagram and you use AI, and it literally says like made with AI or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the thing is, you also, I think when people also think of AI, they think the full art is AI. Sometimes, like, look, I've done drawings before, and I'll use AI elements. That doesn't mean that my full art is AI, but sometimes you just want certain elements that you want to generate in AI to add to your art. So I think when people immediately just construe the fact that the whole canvas is AI generated when it could be just certain elements that are just propped in, right?
Yeah,
It's almost the same way like when you use any Illustrator app and then you use like elements or graphics to add to your existing artwork. So
yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't be quick to bash people that use AI because we don't know to what extent they're using it and also how transparent they are with it.
Exactly. I agree with you on all those takes. But let's see how this turns out when it comes to Disney, Universal, and Midjourney, because it is interesting to see. And kind of like you said, surprising that it took kind of this long, right?
Yeah.
But, anyways. All right, let's move on from this, guys. Mr. Miracle animated series is coming, and Tom King is actually going to be serving as the showrunner, which is pretty exciting on that. You have some books already starting to pop off. People are, starting to turn towards Mr. Miracle #1. We're looking back at the 2017 run. And yeah, man, this actually just had a top sale over on Covrprice. CGC 98 selling at $125. But I think this is going to be interesting, man. I think as an animated, this is going to work, man. This is going to be very fun. I'm fully on board. Looking forward to this. I think DC. If there's anything they do amazing, is definitely their animated stuff. And I think Mr. Miracle is probably going to be a hit, man.
Yeah, and the fact that you have the actual writer of the series be the showrunner, I think that definitely is going to lend for more fidelity with the show with the comics. So, but I would just say, look, from a viewer point of view, I think it's going to be great. But if you're looking at the actual books itself, I would say proceed with caution because let's not forget it's a 12-issue miniseries. It's not an ongoing. So I don't know if this series is going to follow just straight with the miniseries or if they're going to go off the beaten path and create more episodes. But if it's just going to be stuck to a 12-issue mini, it has a short shelf life in terms of longevity. So, if you're looking for that number one, I would say just be careful in terms of how much you're willing to spend for it.
Yeah, I think people flocked to this because you're looking at that picture on the right hand side. You get the total vibes from this
Mm.
cover as well. Like you said, I'm excited that Tom King, who is very familiar with the character, is going to be working on this as the animated. And I agree with Dan saying that this is a smart move by James Gunn's part, tapping into Jack Kirby stories and characters. So I hope we do see, some Mr. Miracle stuff from back in the day and how he came to be, etc. I know that anything post New 52, like dude, he's on a whole other level. So I'm excited. I'm excited. I think as an animated, this is gonna be amazing. This is gonna be very enjoyable. So I can't wait for this. Really
Yeah,
can't
I'll,
wait.
I'll definitely watch it.
Absolutely. But all right, guys, we have something to talk about because apparently Marvel sent a Marvel 616 surprise package to shops. Now, if you guys don't want to know what's inside that, well, you might want to turn away because this, as of tomorrow, will drop. We're currently June 15, but this is a surprise that was sent by Marvel to shops for 616, meaning June 16. So we're just a little over an hour away from possibly from hitting midnight. So we're an hour and 9 minutes away, 8 minutes now. So they asked shops not to open these up until June 6th. And what ends up happening? Well, obviously nobody's going to listen, right? So those who did, shout out to you. Those who didn't, shout out to you. Because we did see these hit eBay as open packs throughout the weekend. And I was looking at what's available, and it's pretty interesting. Now, Bleeding Cool has an article where they actually ran through this, and you can see what's available in this package. So they sent these out. Inside that, it's pretty cool. And as Rattlesnake Comics said, they're gonna start doing this every year. We just had the giant size Amazing Spider-Man tou take place. They're touching on, the 616 timeline, really putting a lot of emphasis as well on the original Human Torch, who really kicks off everything for the 616, for the Marvel Comics as a whole. Now, besides that, what's inside here? You've got these pins that are pretty cool of the Fantastic Four. Really nice. There was also a poster that was included in there, which is also nice. But I think what everybody's looking for right now are these four comics. And I saw some stuff hit eBay. Now, I don't know if those eBay sales are going to be taken down. I don't know if they're going to get flagged. I don't know if they're going to get dinged or whatever. But you have basically these four covers. You have Amazing Spider-Man issue 2. This is the 616 day variant by Sarah Pichelli, which you can see right there at the top right. Then you've got Avengers 25, the 616 day by Marco Cicchetto. Love Cicchetto's work. I say this literally every week. Fantastic Four fanfare #1, Greg Land. Now, I've felt a certain way about Greg Land. He's hit or miss for me, but I really like that Fantastic Four cover. And then you got X-Men 15, the 616 day variant by Lionel Francis Yu. And dude, I think this is a neat initiative, a neat approach, a neat new idea by Marvel. I'm surprised it's taken this long for a 616 day. June 16th, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's hindsight's 2020. Now that we got the idea, it's almost like why didn't they think of this earlier? But yeah, it's a cool concept, and I like the whole surprise aspect. I mean, it's no longer a surprise anymore, but I mean, just the fact that you get one of four covers, it's definitely a cool concept, and yeah, Marvel definitely should do this every year. I mean, why not? It's now here's the thing though, like the covers all look cool and all that. But like Cliff mentioned, I'm not gonna go crazy over these covers in terms of trying to see. It's one of those things. I like if you buy the blind bag, I'd just be more curious which one I end up opening. But it's not like I'm gunning for one. I mean, I guess for completionists they want all four, but it's just a nice little cool surprise to have, tucked away.
Yeah, I was just gonna say this, and I'm happy that Love for Comics brought it up because he hit me up to let me know that Whatnot is actually doing the Fantastic Four trading pack. So you guys remember we got the X-Men 97, we got the Daredevil. Now we're getting a Fantastic Four trading pack that's going to be available via Whatnot as of July, of course, to celebrate the release of the film and Fantastic Four finally making the way to the MCU officially. And yeah, that's going to be interesting to see too, man. I'm curious to see how those packs are going to do once those drop. But I do like this approach that Marvel's doing for June 16. If this is going to be a yearly thing, as Rattlesnake Comics was saying in the chat, hey man, I'm all for this. I think this is really cool. It's smart. I'm just surprised it's taken this long, to be honest with you. Go ahead.
And I was gonna ask, just to Ben's point, do you know if all shops got these, or did you have to qualify?
No, I think all shops got them. All shops got them. It was a surprise that was sent to them. So really cool. Yeah, and very true. Yeah, the Topps Chrome Marvel cards come out tomorrow as well. I hope I could come across them, but I highly doubt it. I didn't pre-order any of those. I try to avoid the card game, but man, Marvel always manages to reel me in. Marvel, WWE, and Pokemon.
Dude, I told myself that, and I'm right back into the card game with Magic the Gathering because they had a Final Fantasy collab. I literally pre-ordered like 2 gift boxes. I might actually end up pre-ordering a third one from my GameStop.
Yeah. I'm not sure, Ben, how many did the stores get of these? I know that some of them had a few of them. I did see some shops saying that they got a stack of these. So that was pretty interesting. But yeah, I don't know if it's a one per store. I don't think so. But
I don't think it would be, especially the fact that there's a variety in these packs. I would assume that shops would get multiple just so that their customer base can have the chance of getting more than just one cover, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Love for Comics. I really want those Frank Miller cards. Hey, if I hit a Frank Miller, I'm all for it, dude. I'm all for it. think what you guys want, but like yeah, those are cool to have regardless.
You're just
um,
thinking about the coin.
yeah. But anyways, so that's what these look like, and yeah, I just wanted to show you guys because it is available tomorrow. So, Lefter was saying it's a one per
Oh,
store. All four are in there, pretty sure. Now,
oh, there you
okay,
go. There you go. Okay, so it's not a random.
but Lefteros, correct me if I'm wrong, because I did see somebody online post more than one. I'm trying to remember who it was, but they had more than one pack that was available, and I'm wondering if it's a one per account. If that's
Oh, oh yeah, yeah. Because yeah. To your point, I think Rattlesnake just mentioned it could have been because of the Diamond Penguin situation. Like if shops are ordering from both.
yeah. So then that's probably the main reason why that they had like
Hmm.
multiple. But I don't understand how they would have more than two then. Very interesting. I
Yeah.
have no idea. No
Now I'm
idea.
actually curious. How much shops are going to be selling these for, knowing that they only have one of these. Like
Yeah, exactly.
if unless you have two accounts, but I'm curious, especially because there's four books inside. I'm curious what these are going to end up going for.
Yeah, we'll see, man. Yeah, Lunar Penguin. So yeah, pretty cool. But I want to get into what might be a spicy topic, guys.
Mm.
So shops got upset with DC. Now here's the main reason why. If you guys recall correctly, we're gonna have the Adventure Comics issue 210 facsimile coming out, and what people were ordering this for mostly was because you have a chance. There's a sweepstakes that's going on to be winning the golden biscuit that's going to be included within one of these books throughout the world. Now, what does that get you? It gets you to the Superman premiere in the month of July over in LA, which is very neat. Now, the cost for retailers on this was like 75 cents. And retailers were ordering these up, of course, simply because, you know, people are asking for them, people wanting a shot at this. But if you don't get the golden biscuit, what did DC do as a thank you was they include a free 30-day trial for the DC Universe Infinite Ultra tier for those who lost. Now, what is that? Basically, think Marvel Unlimited, right? Marvel Unlimited, it's a website platform where you get the digital versions of these comic books over on these websites, and this one being the DC Universe Infinite site. The books for DC, those hit the website, let's say a month after, right? So you get a 30-day free trial. But shops are getting upset online, which I have seen personally, because what they're basically doing is buying in at 75 cents and kind of promoting the one thing that's hurting them. It's digital platforms when it comes to comics, right? So I see both perspectives when you look at DC. DC's doing their part in, you know, giving somebody the opportunity to come out. They're giving shops a low buy-in, but shops were not notified about this incentive up until right now when the book is coming out. So they bought in and they kind of feel like they're shooting themselves in the foot with this. Some shops are even going to the point of burning the not burning these, but like just trashing them complete. Like they're not even going to put them out because of that. So again, you get two perspectives, and then we'll dive into the actual capacity of being able to read comics digitally and what we think of that. Okay, but first, let's start with this hype. What's your thoughts?
I mean, just going back with the whole AI situation, it's all about transparency. So if that was the case and this was the plan all along, then yeah, DC definitely should have told shops what their intentions were, for as a consolation price for the people that didn't win the ticket, because it's almost like why not just make that upfront info? Like I don't like, because it's almost like, again, I don't want to be the guy that thinks people have, ill will or anything like that, but like why wouldn't you just make that known when you're giving the terms and services for these kind of, promotions to your shops, unless you knew that there would be a backlash and that's why you hid it from them,
Yeah,
which seems like a very boneheaded move if that's the case, because it's not like the shops weren't going to find out. So it almost feels like this is like a bit of a PR nightmare on DC's part, on in DC's own doing, just for the simple fact that they haven't actually disclosed to the shops what the actual terms were for this promotion. So I'm not completely against this idea because I think also having a digital platform for 30 days might give a foot like an entry point for people that maybe weren't into comics in the first place, and then they might get an idea of the catalog of DC, and then that might incentivize them to go back to the shop once that trial period finishes, right? So maybe that, it has that, goal in mind. But again, for me, it's just the lack of transparency is where it rubs me the wrong way.
I think it's full of shit. That's my honest take, man. And if you want to know why, it's pretty much what Chia's even saying within the chat. Because shops would have not bought this if that was the case. They would have not
Mhm.
even promoted this. This would have been a complete, no, thank you. We're not interested. Because yeah, man, what do you think you're doing? You're pushing your digital platform, which is gonna hurt the shops. Now, I get it, man. Comics is just like you know a way of keeping things afloat, constant promotion and all of that stuff, these stories and all of everything we're getting content wise, great. But these shops need to keep their doors open by selling physical copies, not digital copies. So yeah, okay, they're buying at 75 cents. They're gonna make a profit, a very small profit, by the way. The margins aren't as big as you guys think they are when it comes to new comic book day books. But you're gonna be promoting this now, giving free subscriptions for 30 days on your website, but it's not ideal for a shop owner. So I understand the frustration on that aspect. I also understood DC's perspective, but the way it was handled was very shady, very shitty, dude. Yeah, like you just said, like Chia was saying, and others in the chat, how it kind of feels like DC knew this was going to be a shit show, right? They're not going to tell the shops this because if they tell the shops, no one's going to order it. And here we are now. Everybody ordered it, and that happened. So I think on DC's behalf, man, very, very fucking slimy, dude. That was very dirty. I would not appreciate that as a shop owner. I would feel the same type of rage, dude. I'd be like, well, you know what? Screw this, man.
The one way I could probably see this having a bit of a compromise, if they want to push their platform, their online platform, I'm not sure how these tier systems works, but because I'm assuming the ultra tier, correct me if I'm wrong, that gives you access to the new comic book day versions as well in digital form, right? Not just the back issues.
I think it's like a month after.
Okay, because I was gonna say, because if it gives you the more current issues, maybe
It
like,
does, but there's a
okay,
month delay.
okay, so because in that case, like, because it's like if there's like an like, if there's like a tier in that sub where you just get a taste of what DC comics are, just for people to, like, let's say, get an idea of what DC comics are all about. Again, I'm talking about the people that are uninitiated. That platform actually might, like I said, give an entry point for people that maybe would never have bought a comic. But I wouldn't give them the full catalog because then you're just taking money away from shops, especially for new comic book day. So in that sense, I almost feel like there could have been a compromise done where you just give them like a portion of the back catalog, but not the full gamut, so that at least the shops can make money on the new comic book day issues coming out. And it's almost like the same way, like if you go to your local library,
Yeah,
shout out to the local library,
I knew
like,
you were gonna do that.
like most major cities that have libraries have trade paperbacks and comics that you could just rent for free. And then once you get a feel for those books, maybe you want to see what's new coming out. So again, I'm just using that as an example, but to have like your full DC catalog in for people to access for free for 30 days, yeah, I mean, of course, you're taking money out of shops' pockets in that.
Yes, absolutely. It's like I said, in my opinion, it's terrible. Chia Pet brings up another good point. How most shops, especially at a 75-cent buy-in, man, would probably be giving some of these away. Specifically, dude, it's a book about crypto. You're bringing in crypto. You want to introduce people to crypto. Crypto is a character that resonates with all ages, but you would imagine that most kids are going to really enjoy crypto once they see him on the big screen, right? Now, shops are not going to feel inclined to want to do that. They're not going to want to give this away, right?
Mhm.
Like I said, it's the complete opposite. So I think the way it was handled was absolutely terrible, absolutely terrible, and I'm not a fan of it. Now, Rattlesnake Comics is saying there's been rumors of Warner in the past trying to go digital in the future and stop printing books. If that's what they want to do, by all means. But man, you don't gotta sneak one by the shop owners. You know what I mean? I think this is just a very poor move on behalf of DC. Cliff saying that physical media is always on the chopping block and it's ridiculous, and that's how it kind of feels in 2025. So great segue, Cliff. Thank you for that to talk about what we wanted to talk about, which is digital platforms providing these types of things. Is this good or is this bad for the hobby? Because, yes, Marvel still makes money off of Marvel Unlimited. DC still making money off of these things, but there's also alternatives. Now, to give you guys a little insight on some things that I've gone through in the last couple days, over the weekend, my street that I live on, one of my neighbors hit up everybody, went door to door, and was like, guys, let's do a garage sale on this day. And we did it. We did it on Saturday. And I threw out some comics as well. Like I put some comics on a table, some slabs, whatever, long boxes with like $2 books just so that people could pick them up. Man, I was giving some away for free too. Anytime I would see a kid, I'd be like, yeah, go pick a book. Don't worry about it. You know what I mean? That was me. Now I had one guy come by, and he saw some books that spoke to him. Like one of them being The Closet, the Tanyan book, right? You and I were talking, and I
Yeah.
told you, I said, that guy came across issue number 2 and in my bin because somebody else prior took issue 1, and I forgot that 2 was in there. Otherwise, I would have given both to that one guy who took issue 1. Now, the guy takes issue 2. He goes, wow, this looks amazing. Like, I'm totally going to give it a read. He goes, do you know where I can get issue 1? Well, first thing I told him, I said, there's a shop not too far from here. Maybe go check it out. If they don't have it in stock, there's a few other shops. If you're shit out of luck, I'm sure you could read it online. If you want to read issue 1, then 2, and then, continue to collect it, whatever. But that is the reality, man. I'm guilty of doing it as well. I collect comics, dude. I have physical forms in hand. The physicals, do I open them all the time? No, I don't. Especially when it's a book that I want to keep mint. I just keep it as is and I go read it digitally, dude. But I'm still buying it. I'm still supporting. So I feel less guilty about doing that. But digital outlets are available, whether it be legal or illegal or whatever, non paid for. It does exist. What do you think about that? Do you think it is problematic within the hobby? Can it lead to the point where it's just going to crush the hobby? I don't think so.
I don't think it's gonna. I mean, again, this is me being optimistic. I'd like to think that I don't think we're ever going to be completely eliminating physical from the hobby entirely, just because I think what draws people to the hobby itself is the collectability and the tactile nature of it. Otherwise, I mean, we would all just be buying trade paperbacks and not single issues if the collectability factor was not so much a thing. Because as you know, and as a lot of us know, collecting single issues takes up a lot more space on long boxes than buying trade paperbacks. But we do it because we love collecting it, and it's just a passion of ours. So I don't think physical is going to completely get removed, uh, but I do see the push towards it from the company's sake, especially with economic times when cost of goods sold are going higher. Global uncertainty with tariffs and all that. Like getting raw material, it is getting more and more expensive to make physical print on a unit cost per unit basis. So from that point of view, I get it, but I don't think it's going to be completely eliminated. And look, we kind of went through this also recently with, just to segue into another category, gaming, right?
Yeah.
With the Nintendo Switch 2. Like Nintendo was considered of the three companies one of the more proponents of physical media, but even them, they kind of pivoted also towards digital keys with third-party publishers because third-party publishers didn't want to pay the cartridge fees that it takes to load their games. So for them, they opted for a digital key.
Yeah.
And it's always a bit of a sticky situation because we've seen this happen a couple of times where sites like Comixology shut down, right? Like when you get into digital, you're no longer actually are owning the book unless you have a PDF copy. You generally are just getting a license to read the book, so it's not an actual ownership.
Yeah.
If that company goes under whatever service you're renting or buying at the time, if they go belly up and they get bought out, your collection is basically evaporated if it was just completely all digital. So there is a bit of uneasiness if you go all digital. So that's why I don't think it'll be we're ever gonna erase physical to begin with. I know that the argument is new age collectors might be more into digital more so than us guys that are more into physical, but I think the tactile and collectability nature of it just makes physical appealing.
I think it's complete trash. I for one, not because I'm old school or anything. I prefer the physical copy. One, I feel like it runs better, whether it be video game.
Yeah.
If I'm reading a copy, I prefer the physical copy. You know what I mean? Yeah, I can go back to read Amazing Spider-Man 316 on digital platforms, but man, holding that book in your hand, man, it gives you a different kind of feel, man. It gives you a different rush, man. Like I like the physical side to reading comics. Now, is the digital thing bad? No, I think it's good. You know what I mean? Like let's say you're going on vacation. Look, I'm leaving in July. I take the iPad, take your phone, whatever you want to read on the plane, less stuff to carry with you. That's chill. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, doing it the way that DC did it, I found that to be completely dirty, completely slimy. But when it comes to digital as a whole, there's pros and there's cons. You know what I mean? Is it the death of comics? No, guys, stop talking about the death of comics. But I do think there are certain things happening with digital outlets, etc., that could be more damaging than people are realizing. And I'm guilty for using some of them. I said it at the beginning, man. How example, I'll go to like read all comics dot whatever it's called, or and that's where I'll go read some of those books. Like let's say I ordered one copy of I don't know, Ultimate Spider-Man 1, the cover A, and I didn't want to ruin it. Well, I would have went to read it digitally because I wanted to preserve it, right? But otherwise, like anything else, I'm normally reading my books physically.
Yeah, and the thing is, if cost is the issue, I know like sometimes people would use the like companies would say like it's more expensive to produce physical. I guarantee you that a lot of collectors like if you give them two SKUs, like make it available to the consumer, give them like a digital version or a physical version.
Yeah.
Look, I'll just use myself as an example. If like let's say games, if there's two versions and the physical version was slightly more expensive, I would still opt for the physical version just because I want that, that feel for it. So I don't think like now I don't agree with the fact that digital and physical are the same price point. I think that is a load of BS. I think you
It's
do need to
crazy.
segregate it. But
Yeah.
I think if you were to give consumers the option and just make it slightly more expensive for physical, given the cost of goods sold going up, like I said, with economic turmoil and all that, I would say like look, people like me would still opt for physical even if it is slightly more expensive.
Yeah. Exactly, man. But I could go on forever about the digital stuff, but I think we pretty much summarized that. So there are pros, there are cons, but to myself, I'll use it when necessary, but to a very minimal scale. I'm still a collector at the end of the day. I still prefer my physical copies. I think majority of people, even younger. I know you say it's a generational thing, but I see it firsthand with my kids too, man. Like my kid was one of the main guys in my long boxes outside, and I'm like, dude, they're literally in the basement all the time. Why do you not look at them? You know what I mean? Um,
You want to hear something pretty funny, and I can't. This was a complete joke. There's one game company. What they did was they sold the actual cartridge box. When you open it, it's just the digital code. There's no cartridge in it. So literally, you're just buying an empty box
yeah,
with
and
just a
this
redeem.
this is the main thing that she is
Yeah,
not
you
wrong.
don't exactly.
And
Like I
anything
said,
you buy digital, you don't own it, guys. Sometimes like my kids get I make them win, and I shouldn't make them win. But sometimes, like example, we'll go watch Minecraft or Sonic at the theater, and then it's like available digitally before it gets a physical release, and they really want to watch it again. So what do? I end up getting it digitally, right? So that they can watch it in the gap, in between, and they want to watch a film. But at the end of the day, let's say I bought it on Amazon, and Amazon shuts down tomorrow morning. Well, I'm kind of screwed. Shit out of luck. Look what happens with some video games. You were talking the video game stuff. Go back to Xbox 360. They completely shut their servers. Can you go
and the Wii
back?
U shop, the Wii U shop as well.
Yeah, exactly. I still go back to play my Super Nintendo games. We can connect two controllers and have a field day. If I want to play my N64 games, I could. They're all physical, dude. I don't have any issues. I don't gotta worry about shit like that.
Do you remember when there was a point in time when the Marvel versus Capcom games went stupid crazy because those games were removed from digital platforms because there was that licensing issue between Marvel and after they resolved it, they put those games back. But during that point when there was that licensing disagreement, those games were removed, so people that bought them were kind of shit out of luck. So that basically rose the price of physical copies. That's why it is a bit of a dicey situation because yeah, you're getting the convenience of digital, but you're not a full owner of the actual said digital game. You're basically just paying to have the right to play it, but you don't actually own it at that
Yeah.
point.
The only time I buy digital video games, as an example, because I know the main topic is comics, but to
Yeah,
give you an idea, the only time I support that is example, I game share, right? So
right, right, yeah,
I'm sharing, let's say, with my brother or with Pacino or with whoever. When I buy a game, we go half half on it. So I'm getting the game at half off when it drops. So
yeah,
a game that's 80, let's say $80 is now costing me 40. On that aspect, I'm cool with it. Especially if it's a game I don't care to have a physical copy. But when it comes to comics, man, I still think it's a whole other ball game. I think it's very, especially what DC did here, it's very muddy, dude. It's very dirty. I find it to be terrible. I don't think digital is gonna hurt the comic hobby as a whole. I don't. Look, Marvel Unlimited's existed for years now. It's not done any damage to the physical side of things, but the way that DC did this, that's dirty.
yeah. It's just a lack of transparency at the end of the day. I mean, just be upfront with what your intentions are and give the full terms and services of these promotions. Don't give them half of the stipulation and then keep the other half to yourself.
Exactly. Well said. But man, do I ever love this chat because you guys got a little riled up with the digital stuff and the physical stuff. So I'm happy to see that. It is conversations to be had, and that's what I like doing here, having conversations with the chat and most particularly a guest every week and Hyper being the guest this week, man. I missed you, dude. It's been a while.
It's been a while. It's yeah. I felt like I got a bit rusty, but I kind of got back into it like halfway through the show.
Nowhere close to rusty. I love the fact that you managed to stick around this long. You have a new setup behind you. You moved. You've been busy. There's a lot going on, but you did hit me up and kind of tell me that hey, there might be something you're working on. So is
Yeah,
that
I mean, I haven't exactly figured out a date, but I'll just share it with you. Yeah, so I am basically I do have an existing YouTube channel that I haven't actually done videos on in the last few months, so I'm going to be pivoting a bit with that, where I'll still be talking comics, but before comics, gaming was always been my first quote unquote hobby passion, you could say. So I'm going to be trying to infuse more gaming and into my comics channel as well. And one of the ideas that I kicked around with BC and our friend Pacino was, you know, all three of us, we just recently picked up the Nintendo Switch 2. There's a lot of fanfare behind it and a lot of controversy behind that. So I was actually posing the idea to both you and Pacino that why don't we just have a roundtable discussion on our impressions of the actual console, what our take is, and what our future outlook is on the console. I just think it would be a good discussion, and it is one of the hot topics lately in gaming. So that's something that I'm trying to cook up. Just haven't figured out a date, but yeah, that is something that me, BC, and Pacino will be doing in the near future.
ideally and with more concrete perspective on this, I think I might have to sit it out and replace it with my son because since I bought it, he hasn't let me play. Dude, the guy's hogging that thing like crazy. But I will say that some of the stuff looks great. But
Yeah,
yeah, man, for sure. I look forward to seeing more content from you. I think you're heavily missed. Yes, hyper combo gaming. Maybe that's a thing. But
I was actually thinking of should I rename the show? No, I mean like I said, comics are still going to be a part of my collecting, but it's just that I'm splitting my time now between both.
yeah, well, I
Yeah.
mean, I never want to see you hop out of comics, but at the same
No.
time, because we're local to each other, if you stopped collecting as a whole, I'd be happy as shit because I'd own the Crow #1 in a
Yeah.
nine.
Yeah. I-
So
I'm I'm sure you.
there you go. There you go.
I'll make sure to put a pube in it when I send it to you.
Yeah, please. Yes. Put as many pubes, guys, because apparently that's a problem on comic covers. But thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you all had a very happy Father's Day weekend. I know that tonight's show, I didn't see as many of you out there. I hope you're catching the replay, but I know you're spending time with your loved ones, with your fathers. Um, it was a busy weekend, even for myself, man. So just being able to hang out with you who showed up, man, that meant the world. Those of you catching the replay meant the world. It means the world. Don't forget Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, going live over on the Covrprice YouTube channel, where we're going to bring you guys the top 10 books of the week. And then on Thursday, I'll be hosting the Shakers with the entire crew. So yeah, he bails BC out all the time. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
If
Okay,
listen, if BC was spending a night in jail, I'll probably wait one night before I bail him out.
that's fair. That's good. It's probably going to be the only time I get a good night's sleep, to be honest, because sleeping in this house
I figure
sometimes.
you have enough thick skin.
Yeah, exactly. But anyways, guys, have yourselves a great week. I'll see you next Sunday as well with a new guest, 9 p.m. Eastern Time sharp. We're getting close to episode 100, man. Buckle up, guys. Buckle up. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Adios.